of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's children appears to have dropped her dad's last name.
Oh, man.
Vivienne Jolie Pitt is listed as just Vivienne Jolie in the playbill for the Broadway show The Outsiders, which she's currently working on as a producer's assistant.
At this point, I'd seriously consider paying one of the kids to keep the name.
Now, she's only 15 years old. She asked to leave the Pitt off of the playbill, according to a source. Vivienne seems to be following in her big sister's footsteps with the move, as we had told you, Shiloh Jolie Pitt filed legal documents to have her name changed now that she's 18.
They're going pitted.
Their older sister, Zahara, has also done a similar thing with her last name. She's now going by Zahara Jolie without the Pitt, but Shiloh is the first one to make the decision legal. So looks like they are definitely taking sides in the whole thing. Jennifer Lopez making sure to stay positive and encouraging her fans to do the same thing during these difficult times.
So difficult.
Less than a week after announcing the cancellation of her This Is Me live tour, she shared a message of optimism and joy with her fans via her On the J-Lo newsletter, along with a note of gratitude for the support and interest of her new Netflix sci-fi epic Atlas. She said, "Hi, everybody. I just found out some great news, and it's all because of you." She wrote that Atlas is the #1 worldwide again this week. Thank you all so much.
It's funny because it's probably, you'd call it getting panned critically. It's not doing well, but I know a lot of people. I watched a bit of it, and it's doing well on Netflix. Yeah. So you can, the bad reviews don't mean anything.
She also said, "It may seem like there's a lot of negativity out in the world right now, but don't let the voices of a few drown out that there is so much love out there."
It's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all so much. It's unclear if she is subtly addressing the criticism and negativity found in the speculation regarding her marriage woes to Ben, or if she was referring to larger scale worldwide issues.
You know what's amazing? At this point, with all that fame, she's essentially still Jenny from the block.
She is. However, many fans interpreted the remark as a reference to the split rumors surrounding her relationship and criticism from some fans over her decision to cancel her forthcoming tour. Wednesday's newsletter statement comes shortly after she revealed she is not embarking on a previously announced 30-plus city tour in support of her album, This Is Me Now. The last time fans saw her on tour, by the way, was 2019. And that tour grossed over $50 million and sold out venues across the country. But this one's been canceled.
Remember, she got in trouble. A couple of artists that year got in trouble because they performed for this wealthy Middle Eastern.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a blip.
Yeah.
So these things happen. So do these things. Jersey Shore star Angelina Pavarnik is facing several criminal charges in New Jersey, including assault, criminal mischief, obstructing justice, and resisting arrest.
I'd like to apologize.
Okay. The incident that led to the charges occurred over the weekend, but details are limited because the Freehold Township Police are withholding details due to the nature of the crimes and its ongoing investigation.
I think she's claiming it has to do with something that they're claiming, at least her representation is saying, is over-the-counter drugs.
Okay.
I saw those words in the article, but I don't know what that exactly pertains to.
Pavarnik's attorney, James Leonard, is saying that the incident was minor and exacerbated by an adverse reaction his client had to prescribe to a prescription.
Maybe that's it.
So I think that's what that is. But I mean, because there's also, we're talking about assault and things. And
yes.
I think that was one of the charges, right? Wasn't it?
Over-the-counter assault.
No, resisting arrest. I'm sorry. Yes, and assault as well. So he also says that the fact that the charges are being issued on a municipal summons is an indication that they're not very serious, but he didn't elaborate on what exactly happened. He adds that Pavarnik is currently resting at home, not resisting at home, resting at home.
Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering how stuff like that ends up working out, if honestly, legitimately, that person wasn't trying to do anything, but the drugs that they took legally, you know what I mean, had an adverse reaction.
My guess is it'll amount to nothing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking long term, though. If you think about these characters and you think about the situation and all these, they've been around for quite a long time. Do you ever foresee a day when the Kennedy Center honors will honor Mike the Situation?
Oh, my God.
I can say with
Snooki
almost 100% certainty that no.
No, okay.
Yeah.
The case, I guess it comes down to, if you're before a judge and it's whether or not the judge believes it, buys it or not. That's what it comes down to. Somebody has to make a decision,
Yeah, because I had a friend who had a brain tumor, and they were acting erratically. I mean, and you know, I didn't know this until afterwards. And then he told me, he's like, I found this out. He had to have it removed. And then he had to like talk to people and say, hey, listen, you know, this person that you were experiencing this stuff with
Was not me?
It was not me.
Oh, he got in legal trouble because of it?
Well, no, but he was, I mean, like inappropriately texting people and
all right.
you know, things that were like, you know, just out of nowhere. It was something that was completely out of character for this person. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But if you are in a legal situation, and that's why, you know, a medical expert might have to be a part of it.
Or an expert in positraction?
Maybe.
Yeah.
What is positraction? All right, anyway, a court...
The limited slip
differential, yes. Oh, there, yeah, I remember now. A court date is set for July. I'm going to write something down.
Okay, is this a band name?
No. Positraction. I saw a video one time that explained positraction, and I was fascinated by it.
Oh, really?
I've always understood what it is, but I didn't know exactly how it worked. It's a video from like the 1950s. It's in black and white, and explained how they came up with the concept of a limited slip differential. Sounds boring as hell, right?
I know, but when you see it,
engineering-wise, it was fascinating.
It's pretty cool.
So I'm gonna find it for you. And yeah, Nick, that's it right there.
Yeah.
How Positrack works. It was incredible.
Positraction works. An exciting look into positraction. Say, Lou, what are you doing over there? I was wondering how positraction works. Well, let me tell you.
If you get a chance, what?
I watched that video.
You saw that video?
Yes!
Is it not fascinating?
Dude, okay.
So can you distill it down quickly for...
No, I can't
okay.
because you need visuals to understand how it works. But it just shows you how smart engineers are.
Yeah.
And that they go, well, here's how we can tackle this problem.
Are you sure?
Positive.
You know what's insane is
What?
like you had the thought, you wrote it down, you said it to me, and now it's on one screen in here, it's on another screen up. Like we were able to find this instantly.
Immediately.
This video that was made, put on YouTube 9 years ago, and probably produced in the 50s or 60s.
Yep.
It's like all of this information is so readily accessible.
Yeah.
There was a time,
blows my
Nick,
mind.
at the beginning of the, way back Preston Y100, we had an iMac in the studio, and you would... Let's see if we can find this online. And it was always a crapshoot. Maybe we'll find it.
And Nick, with that, isn't that proof that there shouldn't be any stupid people anymore at all?
Yeah, or nothing but stupid people, because all the information that we have is readily available, and so we don't have to remember anything.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's reel it back from Positraction because we're in the entertainment news portion of the show today. So a court date is set for July where Pavarnik is expected to address the charges. So.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah, Jersey Shore, right? Okay. Travis Kelce confirmed on his New Heights podcast that when the Kansas City Chiefs visited the White House last Friday, he was told in no uncertain terms that the Secret Service was authorized to tase him if he approached the podium. Yeah, it's pretty funny, actually. Were they kidding? Well, is the question. But Travis wasn't taking any chances. He said when he was invited to speak, he kept it as brief as possible. He said, "My fellow Americans, it is nice to see you again. I'm not going to lie, President Biden. They told me if I came up here, I was going to get tased, so I'm going to go back to my spot."
I think when he visited the White
Last time.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's the
Tase me, bro.
Oh, I forgot about the don't
Tase me, bro.
Oh, my God, that's the best. He confirmed on the podcast, he said, when I walked in, we had about 4 or 5 Secret Service members come up to me and tell me, if you go up to that podium where you're authorized to tase you. And it probably had less to do with his singing or anything like that, but more with his previous White House visit where he kind of snuck up to the mic.
Yeah.
And they had to say, you can't do that. And so they told him, listen, if you do that, we are authorized to tase you. It was probably partially in cheek, but also we can really do it if we need to do it. So they do have a job, and so he was recounting that. I thought that was pretty fun.
You guys been tased? Anybody?
No.
I've been stun gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not a taser where
taser,
the prongs go in you and everything. I think that's another level of voltage.
Yes.
I thought you were going to ask if anybody's been to the White House.
Don't tase me, bro.
Someday.
I have been.
No one's been
Yeah,
tased.
me
been to
too.
the White House.
I've been tased at the White
No,
House.
I have not either.
Knock those off at the same time.
Congratulations to property brother Drew Scott and wife Linda Fan, who just welcomed baby number 2. The couple posted to their website, "We are over the moon. Piper is healthy." I always liked the name.
Piper's a great name.
Piper.
Piper Laurie.
Linda is healthy, and seeing Parker excited to be a big brother is adorable. So they have a kid named Parker, too, which is cool. The couple have been married since 2008.
Is she sure that it was the property brother she's married to that impregnated her?
That's a good question, man. I wonder how many times in history that's happened. Yeah.
I feel bad for they do have a third brother. They're not triplets.
Oh, yeah?
But
what is he like?
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
But I mean, you'll see him from time to time. But these guys are like the superstars.
Yeah, the stars.
Of course, yeah.
Does this guy do anything behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Kim Kardashian is catching some heat online after dressing up like her daughter, Northwest. She
That bitch!
posted a bunch of photos on social media wearing a costume similar to the getup that North was in for her recent performance of Disney's The Lion King. And some fans think she's trying to steal the spotlight back from her kid.
Is that really what people are worrying about?
Well, I mean, they're just commenting on it. As a reminder, North appeared as Simba at the Hollywood Bowl in May, and even saying, "I just can't wait to be king." Well, Kim's new photos could just be seen as a mom having fun with her kid or even supporting her. Some commenters accused her of not letting her daughter have her own moment.
I think that's it. She's just supporting
having
her.
fun.
The pictures are so over the
When the daughter
top,
gets old
though.
enough, she can do her own porn movie.
Wait, can show him? Oh,
Yeah.
Pictures of Kim.
yeah, of Kim.
Yeah, it's a little over the top. It's way over the top. So, season 27 of The Voice has announced their coaches. Adam Levine is back,
I knew it.
along with returning coaches John Legend and Michael Bublé. And Kelsey Ballerini is
back, baby!
joining as a coach for the first time ever.
No Blake Shelton, though.
Nope. Levine was one of the original judges, of course, on the show and departed on season 16, but he didn't stay away forever. He did perform with Maroon 5 in May last year. Ballerini has appeared on the show before as well. She served as an advisor for Kelly Clarkson's team in season 16 and put in the work as a guest coach for Clarkson as well.
So who is the most famous Voice winner?
I don't know
I don't
anything about
know.
that show.
But I
I
did
know
find-
nothing about. I've never watched it. I don't know.
You've heard me talk about Teddy Swims on the show, and I found out much later on that he was a contestant on that
Okay.
show. But I don't know. I don't know if he won or
As
not
little
that.
as we know about winners on American Idol,
Right.
The Voice, I have no clue.
Yeah. Season 26 of The Voice is set for this fall with Gwen Stefani, Reba McEntire, Michael Bublé, and Snoop Dogg. Season 27 will come out sometime next year.
Have you guys ever seen Michael Bublé perform?
Yeah, I've seen clips of him, yeah.
I saw he did a show in Philly one year. It is a fantastic freaking show. He's a real great showman. He obviously has an incredible singing voice, like Preston, a big band behind him with a huge horn section. It's a really fun concert.
I was surprised to hear him use, because of that style of music, using some foul language on stage.
Oh,
I
does
didn't
he?
expect that.
He's funny.
Yeah.
And he jokes around with the audience and stuff, drops a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah.
You! Shut the f*** up!
He's pretty blatant with it.
Yeah.
Which is the antithesis of what you expect of a big band frontman.
I mean, he has this polished sort of Vegas-y thing, which is weird.
Yeah. Fans of Blue Bloods received surprising news that the show might not be entirely over as previously announced. Brian Robbins from Paramount Global hinted at a potential spinoff during the company's annual stockholder meeting.
Blue balls?
Yes, Blue Bloods, from Blue Bloods to Blue Balls.
Gotta get some.
This came after
Dying.
CBS Entertainment President Amy Reisenbach had declared the show would conclude with its final episodes in December,
I want to see Selleck sitting there with his big mustache, shifting in his seat. Like, oh man, I gotta get some trim.
saying that they wanted to give the show a proper send-off. Robbins' comments, which included mentions of new franchise extensions in development for Dexter, Billions, and Blue Bloods, sparked hope among fans and cast members of a possible spinoff. And Reisenbach acknowledged the show's longstanding success and the difficulty of ending a series that is so beloved.
It sits in that CSI realm where they're like I have a couple of family members who are just rabid Blue Bloods fans. Watch it all the time.
Yeah. Two more casting and renewal stories here. As production on season 4 of The Morning Show begins, Marianne Cotillard has been added to the cast. Yeah.
I didn't know there was going to be another season.
Yeah.
I mean, when that
Cotillard
bomb blew up.
will star as Celine Dumont, a savvy operator from a storied European family. The Oscar winner will appear in the new season of the Apple TV Plus series alongside Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston. And Kath, I don't have a time frame on that as of yet. And then one last thing. Paramount Plus has renewed Criminal Minds Evolution for a third season.
Oh, my God. Is this cavemen solving crimes?
No. The spin-off series from Criminal Minds does star, like, all those names you know from that show. Joe Mantegna, Kristen...
Look, splatter pattern.
Vangsness, Aisha Tyler, and Paget Brewster, amongst others.
Brontosaurus coming this way.
You can tell by
Splatter pattern.
You said caveman.
Yeah.
I thought you said gay man, and I was like,
gay man.
Well, I missed the joke.
Why are they talking like cavemen?
But he's gay.
Caveman.
Caveman.
Guest stars include Clark Gregg, Felicity Huffman, Liana Liberato, Paul F. Tompkins, Tuck Watkins, and Brian White as well.
But he's gay.
He's gay. Wow, we're running low on clips. We have one clip again today.
What is this a plumbing issue?
Maybe. All right, the series Geek Girl follows an awkward teenager whose life is turned upside down when she is spotted to be a model and embarks on a life-affirming journey of self-discovery. Here, star Emily Carey talks about adapting the beloved book series.
The script and the book are so closely intertwined. The story that we're telling has been adapted from the books and therefore is different in a lot of senses. We've had to pull certain storylines forward and push others back, like it's book one, but also touches on 2 and maybe 3 at times.
You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Geek Girl is streaming now on Netflix if you would like to see that.
Do you want another clip just for the hell of it?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
All right, one more. Can we have the segment?
I apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chrysagon, the philosopher of evil, and the skull sealer.
So I'm looking for more of that audio.
That guy?
Yes, if I can get about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, I can create an AI Chrysagon.
Wow.
Yeah.
We did track down who he was.
Yes, and he had killed his mother, and he was out of his mind, clearly. But he did apologize for
Ben
incorporating
Affleck.
them into his fantasy life.
All right. Well, anyhow, we should take a break because we've got to expand on Pause Attraction when we come back and get into that a little bit more. But we do have some guests on the program. Actor Tony Hale, who's going to be the voice of fear in Inside Out 2. He threw out the first pitch at the Phillies game last night. He's going to be stopping by this morning. Keith Robinson is going to be on our program as well. So a bunch of stuff to get to. We'll take a break and we'll be back in a moment. So stay with us. Let me go to Michael here. Hey, Michael, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, it.
Good morning.
Good morning, it.
Just hanging out. Good morning, it. Just doing over there, buddy. What are you doing? Just good morning, it.
Good morning, it. Yeah, no, I have a home office.
You're gonna have to hang on a second.
Look it.
Just hanging out. Good morning, it.
Good morning it. Look it. It's good morning it outside. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Hey, Michael. Good morning it.
The Cabbage Patch, though, was such a huge hit, and they smelled nice. They smelled like
smelled
baby
a bit
powder.
like babies.
And so
That was like fight over them at the store during Christmas
Right.
time.
Yeah.
There were
They
balls.
They would release new ones.
Kathy, that Schwarzenegger movie,
Jingle All the Way.
that is predicated on those famous toy store brawls over Cabbage Patch dolls.
But the cool thing about Cabbage Patch, they all had Xavier or whatever the guy's last name's.
On the butt.
They all had a tattoo. They were all branded.
the Cabbage Patch dolls were part of the Nexium cult.
But so I have a very vivid memory of I got my first Cabbage Patch doll. I couldn't wait. I was 10 years old. I got him for my 10th birthday. You get the birth certificate, and I was able to rename him, right? So you send that thing, and you get the birth certificate back. And so mine was named Casey Jr. I was so excited to get this thing, right? And
the Cabbage Patch doll.
the Cabbage Patch doll. I was so because it was the thing. I was 10 years old too.
Right.
It was the thing. It was the thing that everybody had and whatever. My neighbor across the street, and I'm going to say your name. Your name's Wayne, and you're a piece of trash because he called me the slang word for a gay person
Because you had a doll?
because I had a doll. He was an adult, Kathy. This dude is probably like 30 years old, called me, and I was so happy about having this thing for my birthday.
That's terrible.
And he called me
terrible.
that. Terrible.
What a jerk. How old were you? And
I
how old were you?
10 years old.
10 years old.
And it was my birthday.
What a dick.
What a
I know. But like, oh my God.
Where's that dick now?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Wayne.
All right.
Terrible person.
How many times you asked that question in your life, Kathy?
God, where's that dick now?
When I need it.
There are so many dicks that I'm wondering where they are.
Yes. All right, back to toys.
All right.
Toys.
Time. So,
Casey's in therapy now.
American Girl dolls.
I'm out of it now. I'm out of it.
And then there was we already did another pre-screening. Like Marissa hosted that, right?
She hosted it last night at the AMC Fashion District.
It was last night, and then Casey hosted a screening last week
At the same exact place.
for the movie Free Guy.
Yeah.
So
And while we were on vacation, we got a text from Casey out of nowhere
Yeah. what did I
explaining that things didn't go quite the way he wanted them to.
So
go.
if it's possible to suffer a concussion without actually hitting your head, that's what I think you experienced, Casey.
Yeah. And so I don't want to. I'm hoping.
I'll find the text. Here.
Okay,
I'll read it.
I'm hoping that I didn't lead you guys down in the wrong direction of where you think this story is going to go.
No, we don't know anything. We know that, but it was so heartfelt, the text you sent out, that we knew it had to, because there have been similar situations in all our lives. But this one seemed like, wow, this really had to be a little bit more.
Yes. So I have the text here.
Okay,
It
go
says,
ahead.
"Oh my God, I'm at the screening for Free Guy." And by the way, I sent you this text. I'm still there. I have not hosted the screening yet. Okay, I'm still there. I have already embarrassed myself, and I needed to go somewhere and be by myself, decompress for a second, and then I had to admit to somebody what an ass I am, and just to sort of make myself feel a little bit better. And guess what? It didn't help. I still felt terrible. And I said, so they asked me to hype up the crowd and then introduce one of the stars of the movie. So this guy named Joe Keery, who plays Steve from Stranger Things, is in the movie Free Guy.
Yeah.
He was there to introduce the film, and I was there essentially to introduce him.
Right.
So I had come back I was on vacation in Wildwood. I had come back just to do this. I thought it was a really cool experience.
Real quick, had you met him at this point, or is he still?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
By the way, he seems like he's awesome. I love that character, Steve from Stranger Things. He seems like I've seen him interviewed before. He seems like a cool guy.
He was a great guy.
Okay.
And I will say that, categorically, he was a great guy, and the movie is hilarious. It's a great movie. And the movie had been on the shelf for a year.
Yes.
They wanted a theatrical release, and so they were like,
And
we're just going to wait.
Only theater.
And only theater. So, and then I wrote, I just had a classic embarrassing moment. It's a classic shut the F up, Casey, and walk away kind of a moment. I'm pretty embarrassed, but it's also a really funny story. So,
And you said you weren't sure if it was going to translate on the air.
I'm not sure if it's going to translate on air.
Okay.
So,
Well, let's hear it.
Well, deliver it in the original Farsi.
Right.
all right, so here's the deal. This movie was at the Fashion District, the old Galleria, the AMC there. It had never been there. By the way, what they've done to the place, the whole Galleria, the Fashion District, is awesome. It's really, really nice. So I get there. Joe had gotten there earlier than planned.
From the movie company.
But I had also gotten there an hour early, so I decided to walk around a little bit.
Right.
Side story, but it also is part of the story. I went to a place called Wetzel's Pretzels. Have you guys ever heard of Wetzel's Pretzels?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Philadelphia Pretzel Factory, and I love Annie Ann's.
Yeah.
Wetzel's Pretzels is like the best pretzel I have ever had in my entire life. And I was so happy with myself for going, you know what? I've never had a Wetzel's pretzel. Let me stop by and try one, right? Hey, me. And this thing was amazing.
And you were really proud of yourself.
And
for
I was
that.
really proud of and I couldn't believe how it was big.
Oh, is this hand shocked?
Yes. It was amazing. And I'm sitting there, I'm eating this thing, and I'm going, I think I need to open a franchise. I'm like, this is like I have just discovered gold for the first time. That was amazing. So I get done eating the pretzel, and Hannah from Allied Advertising she's my handler, and she says, "Hey, Joe's here. I can bring you back to meet him." I'm like, okay. I decide to use Wetzel's Pretzels as an icebreaker. Okay.
Well, you were completely enamored of Wetzel's Pretzels. It would be ridiculous not to.
Okay. I've been sober almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I go into this place like I had just done 7 rails of coke. Okay.
You're hyped up.
I'm hyped up. Okay. And let me also preface this by saying I'm fairly aware of who I am as a person and what I am as a person. And sometimes I have, how do you say, no chill.
You have moments.
Yes. No,
I have these moments. But listen,
that's a valid criticism of yourself.
Right.
But as we've told you throughout the years, to put a tap on that would be throwing out the baby with the bathwater, because that same energy delivers so much greatness to what we do
on the radio.
On the radio.
Okay.
In person.
Sometimes
the radio.
you
With a
have to
stranger,
know.
Yes.
might be different.
so
Yes.
I,
Like someone who's never met you,
Right.
who's in a new town promoting a movie.
And there are 3 people in this room that have never met me. And so, as the great Ted Lasso once said, know thyself, rest in peace, Socrates. I did not realize as I was going off the rails what was going on here. So I'm brought into this room. I go off on Wetzel's Pretzels. As it turns out, all 3 people in the room have heard of Wetzel's Pretzels before.
Oh, good.
And yes. So it was
relatable.
It was relatable, and we had this in common.
You picked the perfect icebreaker.
All right, so I meet Joe. Joe's a great guy. And then I meet 2 of his handlers. One of them, the female, was from Disney, right?
Yeah.
So she was his handler from the movie company. Hannah, who had brought me in and introduced me, has now left this room. We're in like this office, and I just go off the rails. That's all. Like, I was just being nice. I was being a nice guy, and I just didn't shut up for like 5 minutes straight. And
That's sometimes your Caseyism. Like, you don't know when to end it.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Well, so I had 2 or 3 different times talked myself into a corner.
Well, let me jump in here also. Throughout the years, and it used to be the thing where I had asked, if you realized this story was not going anywhere, and then an asteroid hit the Earth.
Yes.
I asked you to say, and then an asteroid hit the Earth, and we all died.
Right. So there were a couple of, and listen, this is Steve from Stranger Things, and and prior to this, I thought maybe I was going to have to do a Q&A with him, so I did a little bit of research about him, and so I knew a little bit more about this gentleman. And as it turns out, I wasn't doing a Q&A; I was just introducing him, and that's fine. Yeah. So. Hannah's not there. I know, like, I have to leave. I have to get out of here. Like, I am, I'm
in a pretzel loop.
I have overstayed my welcome. I have moved on from pretzels. I don't even know what I don't know what the bridge from pretzels to Van Wilder was. But now I'm at Van Wilder, and because Ryan Reynolds is in Van Wilder.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So, and I'm relaying the story.
Another icebreaker.
I had a really great interaction and encounter with Ryan Reynolds at the Van Wilder screening and press junket in Panama City, and I'm relaying this story, and then I just hear a knock at the door. And I'm like, okay, let me answer the door. It's Hannah from Allied Advertising. So I open the door, and she goes, hey, there's some people out here who want to have their picture taken with you. And I go, oh, okay, And I start walking out the door. I get halfway out the door, and I go...
You weren't talking to me, were you?
Wait, no. No.
No, what?
She was talking to me.
Okay, all right.
All right. But I kind of made a joke, like, Joe, no, they want some pictures. And she goes, no, they want pictures with you, with me. I'm like, oh, okay. And I walk halfway out the door, and it dawns on me that there's nobody out there to take pictures with me.
Oh my God.
The girl from Disney essentially texted Hannah, like, dude, get this guy the F out of here.
Oh no. Oh no.
Right? And it dawns on me, and I step out the door.
Oh God.
And then I turn back. I go, wait a second.
Oh God.
I go, did you send her a text message to tell her to come and get me?
Oh no.
Casey.
Oh no.
She did. She flat out did. I go, you did. I go, it's fine. I go, I get it. I go, I'm so sorry, man. Listen, sometimes I have no chill or whatever. But I go, I know you totally did that, right? And then I shut the door and I walk away with Hannah and I go, did she send the text message? She goes, yeah, she did. I was like, oh my God. And listen, I don't care that I called her out on it. I don't.
No.
Like, that's
if you're going to do it, you got to own it.
Yeah. I'm like, and you did. I don't know what what the text to Hannah said. I don't know if it was like, hey,
Get this guy
Can you
outta
get this guy? I don't know if she was nice
Please
about
get him
it.
to talk about pretzels again.
Oh my God! But
I mean, we're closer with Hannah than them. You should really ask what I want to know what the text said.
I would, you know what? I will ask her, but she confirmed that no, there was nobody out there to take pictures with me. So now I'm standing outside of this room, and there's a step and repeat background. Nobody's there to take their picture with me, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
Now you're thinking.
I was a child at this point, like I was so embarrassed, and I was like so inside my own head, and I was like, this is terrible. I am so embarrassed. I almost felt like crying, and then because I was depressed, I was like I legit got depressed at who I am as a person, like and then I was like a little bit mad. I'm like, but I was being nice, you know what I mean? Like I'm a nice person, but like, God, Case, you're a 46-year-old man. You should freaking know. You have met a celebrity before. Like, stop being such an a-hole.
You were excited over pretzels.
I was excited over
That was the problem. You were excited over great pretzels, and
I still want to open a franchise, and it's not that expensive to open a franchise. My wife said, no, I'm not allowed to open a Wetzel's Pretzels franchise. And I was trying to think of, like, where could I open a Wetzel's Pretzels franchise? Where could I?
I thought this would have been you going, I need to go back and apologize right now. And then go back in there, and then they're with this guy again.
Yeah.
We can't get rid of him here.
What was the what was the... There was no conversation, right? Was it just you talking and not ending?
Right.
All right. So, no, I try to get people involved in said conversation. So
we're at that point of the year where you have a lot of things happening with the school year coming to a close. Casey's oldest just graduated. My youngest is, they're wrapping up their final day of school is on Friday. Carter had wrapped up his semester at college like a couple of weeks ago.
This is the best time of year when you were in school.
Oh, my.
The best.
so good.
Is Carter coming home for the summer?
No.
Dude, that was the best when like you can make the decision and be like, no, I'm not coming home.
That's what he's doing.
And I'm like living through him again because I remember it at Westchester and just, oh God, it was so great.
I was asking him about it yesterday. I'm like, so what is it like? Because this is his first, full year at Westchester.
Yeah.
And I said, what's the town like now? Because he's working at Lorenzo's.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
he's
I'm
right in the middle of it.
There you go.
I'm like, what is the town like now that school's out of session? He's like, it's a little quieter.
Right.
Yeah. So it's definitely, he's like, evenings are not as, as full of people walking around as, and I'm like, yeah.
Still a great town.
Makes total sense. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Westchester, yeah.
It's a great town. Yeah.
Steve, Melissa, Ben's mom, and I Ben had a meeting at the school yesterday, and it went really well, but it was really funny to see the vacant look in the kids' eyes because they are just done. There's like technically a few days left in the school year. They checked out at least a week ago, if not sooner.
I took my son on a college tour yesterday, and we were walking around the campus, and it's a ghost town.
Yeah. Which
and
is weird.
But, for me, I love it. I'm like, this is so great, But for him, I want him to see, and experience the kids being on campus.
Yeah, it's a different complexity for sure. I mean, we went to Westchester, and I'd never really been around when Carter was moving in, and it was... there was a football game, and we drove through town, went down where Kathy, where the sororities and fraternities were.
Oh, yeah.
And it was crazy. It was nuts. I was like, man, I haven't seen this in a long time. I'm like, this is really cool. It's
Did you see that statue of Kathy holding her shoes, walking back to her?
No, but I did tell you, I think I told you guys this. There was a car in front of us that pulled up and stopped, and the trunk opens up, and two people got out of the trunk.
Yes, of course.
Two people got out of the trunk of the car.
There was
That's
no room
hilarious.
inside.
Yeah.
So I saw this interesting phenomenon. I never really thought about this before. As college comes to an end and students that are away at school come back home, is it best friend rotating season? Meaning you switch from your college best friend to your home best friend.
Yeah, your home yeah, of course it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what that dynamic is like,
Yeah, well, they usually hate each other.
And that was a question that I saw written. Do your high school best friend, is your high school best friend jealous of your college best friend?
100%. So, at least with me, and mine's very territorial. Like,
I'm hers.
Yeah.
Queen Bee?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it took her. So my college best friend, it took her years to accept her, and they finally do. They like each other. They get along. It's
So
great.
as your friend from college who knows all about positive attraction.
Wait, but then hold on. Then there was after college best friend, like Concha Hawken best friend, and that's still a work in progress.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I would,
swear
to me, that seems very logical and likely a dynamic where there's this friction or jealousy.
Yeah.
Because now someone's just in life in general. Oh, I guess that's your new friend. But this is something that is actually forced by your change of routine.
Yeah.
I get caught up in that. My lifelong best friends and so on, and I see them have a really tight relationship with somebody else, and I'm like,
Oh.
I guess I'm sitting 6 rows back from the home plate.
But I would love to hear if there are any good stories of jealousy amongst away best friends and home best friends, and that could be high school or college, whatever it is. 215-263-WMMR, because you, as the friend, would of course like for those two people
To get along.
be friends.
Hey, you guys will love each other.
Yeah,
Nah,
And that
not
doesn't-
always.
and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Do you think this happens more with women than it does men?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Now, yes, I would say more.
Probably.
I would say it's something that is absolutely will happen with guys, but it won't happen. I don't think with the degree of frequency it will with women.
Yeah, I mean, because
Women tend to have more friends. I think in general.
My like best friend from home, I have 2 best friends, and they're good friends as well. But he used to visit me at college all the time. So like he became friends with my college friends.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It wasn't just during the summer where these people would see each other.
That was part of it, though. Like, Elisa would come to college, visit me, and it would be like, who's that? Oh, what's her name? What's her deal? You like her? Why?
What does she play in a? Does she play in a jug band?
Yeah, but so my other best friend, Megan, she made a joke one time, and she said, "It's okay. Tell Elisa I know I'm Plan B," and that was it. Elisa was like, "I love Megan. We're great. We're good."
She's subservient to Elisa at this point, so it's now acceptable. Kathy, I have 2 sets of girl high school friends, and occasionally I'll see the one group that I'm closer with get jealous of the other group when I end up spending time with them, and we're just like we're just friends. We're just going out to dinner. It looked like these are friend groups.
So Nick, again, and everyone has talked about sort of being the centerpiece of the 2 warring factions. Have you ever been a warring faction over another friend?
I'm like Casey. Like my high school friends would come and visit me in college. I would go and visit them in college. Casey, I think you're 100% right. Like, I think guys just sort of meld in, and then when they end up being friends and like are hanging out without you, that's a great feeling. But when it came to the girl group, Steve, there was always these weird little, mean girls type stuff.
Like my wife has. People love her. I married her. I love her so much. I bought the company. No, but she has different groups of friends. Some, and not that they hate each other, but they're just on a different vibe. And so she is the centerpiece that kind of travels to all these different friend groups, and they adore her, and she gets the dynamic. So she's like, oh, this will be for these friends, and this will be for these friends, and because you can't cross streams.
Yes, and it's a vibe thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's a vibe thing.
I used to get really jealous over, and this is like before high school, but I had my grade school friends, and then I had a neighborhood friend, and I'll never forget going to my grade school friend's house, to go hang out. And my neighborhood friend was already over there. And I'm like, what the F are you doing?
Oh, I see. Hey, whore.
No, these are all, But and I don't ever want to be that kid again.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
And if I find myself falling into those patterns, I'm like, okay, you got to chill the F out.
The other thing that happened to me when I was a kid, especially in middle school, was camp friends versus school friends.
Yeah.
And so I went to that camp that Marissa and I have talked about many times called Camp Taqua, and you would make friends because you'd be there. It was overnight camp.
Talk to
And
the
either-
Voorhees boy.
No. Like, you're there for weeks on end, so you naturally and automatically develop friendships with these people that you're spending a lot of time with. And then when you would try to seek them out outside of camp, that was a violation with any of your middle school or high school friends.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I had pool friends. I was a little pool
There you
rat.
go.
Yes.
And so when the summer came,
Same.
I basically, the only friends that I had outside of the summer were my neighbors. And those are the only ones that I hung out with. But no, it was pool friends from all different schools and stuff.
All right. I had band friends.
Okay.
And then I had my other, pot smoking friends.
So I'll tell you this: my school friends and were also neighborhood friends. So it was pretty homogenous. For most of it, I didn't have these different factions. Everyone knew everyone. So it was never that. I didn't have a dynamic like, okay, here's pool, here's camp, here's this. I went to a commuter school, so unless I were to make friends on the way to driving into school, it was no.
It was all the same.
So on our Xfinity mobile guest line, we have the Queen Babe.
Okay.
Let's go to her. Kathy's best friend Elisa is joining us. Hey, Elisa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did that dynamic work the way Kathy said that once Kathy's other bestie took the second position?
I told them that when Megan referred to herself as Plan B, and you were like, okay, I like Megan now.
Well, exactly. As long as her other friends understand the hierarchy, like that I am always going to be at the top of the chain, and I have to approve, and you have to get vetted and by me first, then I'm down with them. But
then
if
we're good.
Not, then
Let me ask you, have you ever been, so besides that, have you ever been in the center where not warring,
Where
but
Kathy
different-
would be jealous. maybe.
Kathy might be jealous of a friend you were close to.
I mean, Kathy basically hates everyone I'm friends with the exception of maybe 3 people. So
Yeah, Diana and Elena are your
Exactly.
good friends. The other people are just fake people.
yeah,
They are.
I'm not. Don't come at me, man.
I think you and Elisa have a special bond.
She'll invite me somewhere, and I'm like, well, who's going to be there?
totally. Yeah.
Where do the fake bitches live?
Well, they live everywhere. She just, you know how she is. But again, we are each other's plan A. She's always my first invite, but she always has to get approval if others are coming also.
Okay, so you're immediately on the list, but if you're going to bring a +1 or +2, you have to run it by Elisa.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, absolutely, yes, 100%, yes. I think don't best friends operate this way? Isn't that normal?
I don't know.
I think it does.
Do you sometimes, Elisa, say, no, that's not happening?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Kathy, you abide by that?
Well, yeah,
Or
because
were you
if not, she'll make it. It won't be. It won't be fun.
All right, let me ask you this without saying names. Do you have one friend of Kathy's in particular that is an absolutely non-starter?
Oh God, don't answer.
Yes, without saying names. It's just she's gonna be there. No thanks. She's nice. It's just she's that signature annoying person.
Kathy, do you believe you know who she's talking about?
I don't know because I'm not. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I totally hear how this.
College friend.
I hear how this conversation.
Wait,
Hold on. Go ahead.
Wait, college friend? Who text me right now?
All right, if you can, Elisa, text her right now. I want to see this reaction because I'm always curious as to whether or not, as good as you guys are friends, and you're obviously lifelong friends, dear friends, how well you know. It's almost like the newlywed game. What they're going to say. So.
Oh God, Elisa. Yes. Well, she's just annoying to everyone.
Oh, she just got the text?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I could totally see this conversation going this way. Kathy saying to Elisa, well, so-and-so is going to be there. And Elisa goes, well, do you want me to be there?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Then you know what to do.
I mean, that was, and you know what, too? Elisa and I have been friends since we were 15. And so our relationship started in that high school years, the cattiness and all that. So, sometimes you revert back to that.
Let me ask you this dynamic, because this pops up occasionally. So you're different groups, Elisa, and you're obviously the A group. And so Kathy does something where she knows she's going to have a couple of those friends you don't jibe with well, so she just doesn't invite you or mention this event that's going on. Were you to hear about it, would you be insulted by not being asked?
100%. I might drive to her house and flash her tires.
Wow.
So you want to be asked so that you can turn it down, but just you want to be considered.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's nobody that she's friends with that I actually dislike. I don't hate anybody or anything. I really have a good time with all of her friends. I love those, the good girls, all her little neighborhood friends. They're so fun and so nice. But maybe there might be some other peripheral friends that I'm like
the college friend. Yeah.
What do you think?
I love some of her college friends too. There's just one in particular that might be on the annoying side.
All right. What are your feelings on Kathy's coworkers?
I just love those people.
Why wouldn't you?
Let's pretend we're off air. What's the answer then?
There's a loud eater in the group.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
There's several.
All right, Elisa, thank you for the call.
All right, you guys. I talk to you. Bye.
All right, see ya. Bye-bye. All right. The Queen Bee. We do have some calls coming in, so I want to go to them. People who have to rotate their best friends, their college best friends.
Like rotisserie.
And then their home best friends or high school best friends, or maybe just best friends in general that you have in different circles and it's not working out.
Yeah,
however that goes. Let me go to Alex. Hi, Alex. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going? Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. We're good. What's up with you, Ben? Man, not Ben.
Ben is another way of saying Alex.
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
No, yeah. So I just graduated from Montclair State University this year, and it's been a very weird transition because, love my hometown friends, also love my college friends, but the kind of phenomena that I've been experiencing across the 4 years, like even now into graduation, and now like I'm commuting to work and stuff and working 9 to 5, so I'm not necessarily seeing anybody at all, was you kind of have your found friends from college that you get to like choose, and then your given friends for that like I grew up with. Like I'm from a small town in Ocean County. So,
right.
Yep.
It's all people that were placed in my life at T-ball practice and rec soccer that became lifelong friends.
What's your way of prioritizing or working the system? When you're going when something's happening, who do you default to first when you're going to have some sort of trip or something you want to do with your friends?
I think I default to my college friends now.
College friends.
Because I spent so much time with them. Like they were my roommates. Like I feel like they were the first people that I got to like choose and be friendly with, and we actually talk about like new things. Like I love my high school friends, my lifelong friends. But it does default to those conversations being about the past.
You just mentioned, Alex, you just mentioned a dynamic that I think is true to a lot of this. You're sort of feeling an adult when you're in college. You have your a lot of times your way or whatever. You have your autonomy, and so those bonds are a lot stronger. That's why, like for frats and frat brothers and sorority sisters, and it transcends many years. Would you agree with that? Yeah. I think that's that dynamic.
I think whoever you revert back to is the true friend, or at least because like that's like, even I have many friends from college and beyond, but like it always reverts back to Elisa. Like if something's wrong or I'm excited about something or whatever, she's the one to go to.
She's in your bones. To use a term that might put it in a deep level.
Bones you.
She bones you from time to time. All right. Thank you, Alex. There's a term that we use amongst our closest friends, which is, you ever heard chosen family?
No.
So we're like like the Chapmans. We call each other our chosen family, and the Leasics are our chosen family,
right?
Because there are some we know
the Lowers.
We don't really get along with everybody in our actual family tree. So we consider them to be a family that we feel this close enough to you that we are family with each other, and we call it the chosen family.
Another phenomenon that's happened, especially over the last 5 years, and especially with younger people, but it happens on our show, is like virtual families. There's a YouTube community for the Preston and Steve show, and I was watching them interact yesterday. I'm watching them interact now. People that you've made friends with on Instagram. You might not even have ever met them in real life, but there are these communities that exist, and you look forward to the interactions with them. And I think that's obviously a relatively newer phenomenon.
One last story about Elisa. You know who can put her in her place? Jace. He calls her Francesca's mom, and she's like, Jace, we've known each other for 12 years now. You can't call me by my name. And so now he doesn't. He's like, Francesca's mom.
I wonder where he gets it.
Where does he get that from?
Yeah. Jace can cut, man. I've seen him do it. Let me go to Paul. Hey, Paul, good morning.
Hey, you guys rock.
Thank you, Paul. What's up, my man?
Hey, so I kind of agree with Nick when he's saying you guys have like different friend groups, like as guys have different friend groups, but we're like okay with it.
Yes.
But I have one buddy of mine that's like we're kind of best friends since grade school, and every time I'm like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And he says, I'm hanging out with my friends. And I'm like, you have friends? And I always try to give him like a hard time, so now he just calls them acquaintances.
Acquaintances. That's great, man. I love that. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it, bud. Case.
How tough is it when you introduce two people and you are the connection, you are the cream center to the Oreo cookie?
Yeah.
and then they go and get each other's numbers and then hang out with each other without you.
So let me ask you.
Yep, I've had it happen.
Can I ask you a dynamic?
Yep.
You are. Chuck is your bestie. One of your besties?
He's his at work best friend, right?
I mean,
I have two at work co-best friends.
Right. So,
He's looking at Preston.
So, but I remember there was a little, not that there was any dislike amongst.
Chuck hated my guts before we ever met.
Right, but I'm saying I remember there an element of jealousy, at least.
Oh, I will admit something right now.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
Right now.
Oh, I love it.
This was at MMRBQ, and Casey posted a video on Instagram with the song "People." Let me tell you about my best friend, and it was a montage of him and Chuck.
Father, yeah.
Oh,
wow.
It cut me.
Did it?
It cut me a little bit.
Really?
It did.
Wow.
That was a pretty bold.
All right.
They went Instagram official.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Now,
this?
Lisek's your best friend.
Yeah, he's my longest best friend.
That's allowed.
That's a different.
That's allowed.
Jeff is Casey's best friend.
Yeah, but I'll hear when you talk about doing things. Casey's like, "Oh, you guys are golfing?
I know.
Were you going to dinner? Oh.
He's got another best friend that takes him to Phillies games at $500 tickets. I can't compete with that,
you
Steve.
can't compete.
I can't compete with that.
Tell you what,
He's not a coworker.
You could have gotten him a Shake Shack burger, though.
So he's on the way home from this thing yesterday that his buddy took him on, and I was like, "Hey, I have a free round of golf for you at this Waynesboro Country Club." He goes, "Yeah, I don't want to play." I was like, "Oh."
Do you want to hear why I responded that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Because when I was at your daughter's graduation party, and I asked you to go with me to this game that I went to yesterday. Do you know what you said to me?
I don't want to go.
I don't want to go.
Yeah, and as it turns out,
and that's why I wrote to you yesterday. I don't want to go.
So,
wow.
So are you taking it back?
There.
Do you want to go?
Taking it back? No, I don't. No, I can't.
Why did you not want to go? You couldn't go because you're doing the Scranton run.
That was before he knew he had to do that.
Wait, do you regret saying you didn't want to go?
No,
You knew they were those were the seats?
I knew those were the seats,
Oh, all right, okay.
but I also knew it was 4:00 on a Wednesday, and I was tired.
Yeah,
I knew on Saturday that I was going to be tired on Wednesday.
Okay.
And instead, I had to drive 4 hours.
And Lori was on.
But instead of, oh man, that's really cool, thank you, but I'm going to be too
I don't
wiped out.
wanna
I can't make it. Was I don't want to go.
Oh man, I thought you would appreciate the honesty and the. Oh, all right.
Honesty.
Lie.
We got
All good.
We good.
That's a lie now.
Casey probably felt pretty good to get the invite in the first place, though, right?
Yeah. Well, me and Jim, we go way back.
Here we go.
So, you know, Jim.
You went on Monday.
No, I'm like it's just like for a big Phillies fan, like to that must have been felt good for you.
Did you invite Jim to the Phillies game or Kevin Costner to the Philliys game? Because
I did invite Kevin Costner.
You didn't invite Jim. You got to invite Jim in order.
Nick is like, sit here and watch this. Back and forth. I'm alive too.
If there is a licensed therapist listening right now,
Oh my God!
We need your help.
we need a sesh.
Wait, no, I have a
on
serious
the air
question.
right now.
Do I not exist? Who am I?
Casey, has the dynamic, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but has the dynamic at all changed between you and Chuck since he became our boss?
Wow.
Ooh.
I feel like he's being meaner to me.
I will tell you this.
Like he's being a total dick to me just to be a dick. I'm like, why are you doing this?
No,
I've noticed that.
Here's something that I knew immediately. Chuck is made of good stuff. Like the second he became the boss, I knew I didn't even have to ask. Or if things are said in confidence, and that he was taking the serious commitment to all of us and respecting all of our roles and everything, so that would not be an issue, and I never even had to ask. But I could see it's a dynamic that could cause a complex. Sure.
I'm going to use a movie as an analogy. In the movie Bend It Like Beckham, the star of the movie, she and the coach have feelings for each other. And remember, he yells at her in the locker room, and she's like, "Why did you do this?" He's like, "I have to be harder on you. I have to do this.
Because they might know I've fallen for you."
And that can't happen with Chuck. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Chuck, why did you take? Because they'll know I've fallen for you.
I think we'll have that musical moment any second now.
Because you'll know I'm falling for you.
And then you see me licking Chuck's hairy ass belly. Silhouetted.
It looks like an otter.
God.
We do have to respect Chuck as our new boss, but when he gives me a hard time about something, I just go, "Okay, Bill."
Oh, I'm sure he loves that.
Well, the dynamic with Bill was very different. And
It was,
you know,
yeah.
and like I think Chuck takes relationships and friendships first, whereas Bill was just like, "No, I'm going to be the boss," you know. And I understood why Bill felt that way and acted that way.
By the way, my buddy Jim, who took me to the baseball game yesterday, just texted me, said, "Love this conversation. I've never been the hot chick before."
Oh my God, he's so hot.
He's so smart and talented.
Yeah, I mean,
and
what
generous.
a genius.
Yeah.
All right, can we go back to the friends conversation?
All right. Well, I got to
here?
find this best friend video that I made that made you so mad.
I'm going to go to, let's do the, back to your best friends clashing with each other. I'm going to go to Jim. Hi, Jim, been on hold for a while. Good morning, buddy.
Oh, yes, I'm totally the hot chick.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I moved during high school, I moved from a town to right next to each other. And I don't know how you know like Spring City, Phoenixville, they're so close together, but yet they're so like worlds apart. So I had my friends that were all into mechanics and everything and like, getting dirty, still actually at that time playing with like toys, where I went to a place where it was like girls dressing nice, looking classy and everything.
Okay.
Like
Walking down the boardwalk.
Yeah. Just a different,
Yeah.
culture of sorts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's like Shelbyville and Springfield.
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like so when I first had my big party and everything, both groups came together, and my old friends were like, "I don't think we're ever going to see you again."
Wow.
It was really weird. It felt awkward, and it was just it changed my life. Actually, I even changed. I was like, I used to be James, now I was Jim. So yeah.
That's so interesting.
Did any of this ever play out over the years, Jim, where it settled down and you were able to keep friends on both sides?
Yeah, when we got older, it came out to the point where it's just like, just talking Facebook and here and there with the older friends. But I stuck with the local ones.
Okay.
It's rare, Jim, that you would have basically like a Laverne and Shirley moment where, like, maybe we don't have your fancy, cars or what. There was always that sort of class thing.
Yeah.
But to have it play out that way is that clearly was wild.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. I will go to Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Lisa?
How are you?
Good. And you?
How much can you bench?
How much do I bench?
What do you want to talk about, Lisa?
My best friend. So, we're allowed to have separate friends. She's allowed to hang out with them, but, she's never allowed to claim them as her best friend. One time on Facebook, someone said put, a big thing, that's my best friend. I was like, who is this? No, you're not. Even her own husband, no, sorry, you're not her best friend.
So you veer from using best friend at all to describe, even if a friend is maybe more prominent, you would not describe them as a best friend?
Absolutely not. No, oh my God, she's my ride or die. She would bury a body with me. Absolutely not.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But your best friend never claimed anyone else as another best friend. That would end it probably.
No, it wouldn't end it. It would just be like, why does she think she's your best friend? Does she not know that's me?
Right. Yeah.
It's funny how,
Kathy's best bud. All right. Thank you, Lisa.
The way the drama plays out.
Yeah, we have the agreement of, burying a body or whatever.
Sure.
Whatever it might be.
Yeah. Let me go to Joe. This is interesting. Hi, Joe. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks, buddy. All right. You wanted to explain something to us.
All right. So I have 3 group of friends. I have my neighborhood guys that I hang out with every day because their kids play. Then I have family. My best friend is technically my kids call him uncle, but he's the guy you got to warn people about when you introduce him to him. You got to go, hey, he's a little off the wall, so it's over sarcastic.
Yeah.
But it usually pisses people off on a daily basis. So then I got then I got my bar friends. People I'll hit up if I actually get a night out. 3 kids, it's hard to even get out.
Yeah.
So basically, it's if I got my best friend with me, some of my bar friends, I got to make sure they're not there because they'll end up either in competition or smacking each other throughout the night. And pissed off. So
No, you're talking about that exact dynamic, and it sort of happens with people who get along with many different groups. Clearly, you do. You kind of have to border collie them away from each other.
Yeah, so I mean, it's basically like if I have a big thing in my house and I'm inviting basically all of them, there's some people I got to be like, all right, let me make it show they're working that night or something, so I can easily not tell them not to come.
Wow.
You know, just because one person, and I have to decide who's going versus who else is going.
And
but
so
it's usually like they'll try to play cool, but then they end up getting into something. I know it's going to happen.
But none of the three separate groups can mix with each other.
It's like they don't. So I just kind of like just maneuver through them throughout, like, you know, doing different things.
So, Joe, you really have to take it to that level where, like, you're that protective of one another that you do your best to keep them separated?
Yeah, it's kind of what it's always been with certain people. Like, I've always been good at reading people. So, like, I know when somebody gets a certain way, I'm like, all right, let me interact and, you know, smooth it over.
You're very applicable to different groups of people. It's the way my wife is, and so the people like that are who can interact with many different people on many different levels. They end up having to do this kind of juggling.
Yeah, and I mean it's crazy. It can turn into a headache sometimes, but you want everybody there, and sometimes you just go, it's better off just not having certain people there because you just know something's going to happen.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It ends up being more work if you have to merge all of these groups of friends. So it's like,
Kathy, we'd love you to come to the party, but you're going to have an inexplicable house fire that night.
All right, Joe. Thanks. Marissa wants to jump in here. Marissa?
Preston, do you remember hanging out with me and some of my friends and we were having a social media free night because we didn't want one person to know that we were all hanging out?
Yes, I do.
Social media has brought no names.
I'm not going to
just
say.
Write it down and hold it up to the camera.
But I remember.
No, just don't even write it down. Don't even
they have to know.
Wait, why didn't you want this person?
Well, because that person just wasn't invited. And no, please don't, Preston. No,
I'm not going to hold it up.
No, don't even show it to the group. Please don't.
Right.
I'm just saying. Please don't.
We'll see it later.
I won't.
We know who it is.
I'll throw it away.
No, but social media has just changed the dynamic of this whole friendship group rivalry completely. Because if you post a story, even if you just bump into somebody on the street or at an event or at a concert or something like that, it changes it all too.
Yeah, Marissa, I've seen that a lot with kids, with high school kids, because
and 40-year-olds.
Well, no, you're right. I mean, it's interesting because it's a dynamic that did not exist 15 years ago, and it exists all the time now. And but especially with high school kids, like they feel left out if they see all the people being invited to parties or people hanging out at events or whatever, and people are so ready and readily post stuff that it becomes hurtful.
You know what's happened though, Nick, and I agree. You're exactly 100% right. What's also happened is that has been laser focused because of a couple of years that had to be spent in formative high school students' lives where they couldn't socialize at all.
Yeah,
all they did was communicate over phones and social media. That became the metric by how you were doing as a human.
Yeah.
We have to take a break in a second, but this is an interesting text came and said, all relationships are based on need. Once that need is gone, it's up to the individual to decide whether to continue the friendship or not. And now you have to, quote, work at keeping the friendship and not drift apart. So, for example, like us, we need to come to work. So we are seeing each other and we are friends because we are together all the time. Now, when someday we're not working together anymore,
we're not going to be friends.
We will have to work
to do
keep that relationship alive.
And that's when
we want to.
Chuck clearly becomes Casey's best friend.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Not if he continues to be an a-hole to me for no reason. Picking fights for no reason.
You know what? That is so true, though. Like, I had a friend from college, and being friends with her was a lot of work. And guess what? I'm not friends with her anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, to be honest, what happens is proximity is a great decider of your friend base.
Yep.
It's very rare. Like, I have a few friends from stand-up comedy days that I see maybe once every 10 years. Or, it's crazy amounts of time will lapse. We can pick right up, but are we friends the way you are, Casey, with your best friend Chuck? No. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. So I'm less of because of the amount of moving around I've done in my life.
Yeah.
I have not had battalions of friends, the way you guys all have
Yeah, you say battalions, but like honestly,
Nah, I've got like 3.
I got like outside of
4.
I had like 2.
Okay,
you know what I mean. Like Jeff and Mike are the guys that I probably hang out with the most. Of you know what I mean. Like, but I do. I don't know. You say battalions, and then I'm like, I don't have battalions, and then I'm like, oh, what about like
Most people have only 2 or 3 really close friends. As we've talked about this before, depending on your age.
Right.
So it's all an interesting dynamic.
I loved Ulysses S. Grant.
But I thought that this was an interesting concept that I had never really batted around. Best friend rotating season. With the end of college, you maybe, if you return home and then you go back to your home best friend and leave your college best friend.
What about if you were in prison for a long time, like Shawshank, right?
I'm sure you make some buddies in there.
Yeah. Make plans to reunite with your friend on a beach.
Interesting conversation. All right, we do need to take a break because we have a guest coming up in the next break. Along with the Bizarre File, we're going to talk to Keith Robinson, who's got a new Netflix special out. A little later on, actor Tony Hale is stopping by. He's the voice of fear in Inside Out 2 throughout the first pitch of the Phil's game last night. He'll be stopping by. We'll take a break and be right back, so stay with us.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Do you recall a real
Waiting for an
exchange, like a
answer.
conversation, or did you ask them to write down their questions and submit them to you?
I don't know.
So was there any point at which
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, there were questions asked, and you didn't breathe to let them answer.
I had another moment over the weekend too, where
Well, wait. Before you go to that, to this point, did you encounter them again? Did you get a chance to apologize to him, our buddy from Stranger?
I talked to the guy.
Yeah.
All right, so I never talked to the girl again from Disney. I talked to the guy. So I had gone into the theater after I had walked away and hung my head in shame for 10 to 15 minutes and texted you guys to try and make myself feel a little bit better. I was then asked to go into the theater to let people, because they collect your phones a lot of times before. So they had just gotten approval to let everybody have their phones back, and then I announced a surprise to hey, by the way, we have one of the stars here, so if you want to take a picture while he's in the theater, you can go get your cameras now. So I did that, and then I brought Joe on to the stage, and while Joe was addressing the crowd, I talked to the gentleman. I go, yo, man, I'm so sorry. I go, listen, sometimes I have no chill. And he was so cool. He goes, dude, he's like, you were fine. He's like, he's like, I want to hear the rest of the story.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this guy, you're
Was
lying.
he
but
texting
thank
while he
you.
said that?
No. I'm like, you're lying, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. And
you know
then
how sometimes we have these events and there's the person who's in charge of making sure that the other person's okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if the publicist did that on Joe's behalf and he didn't care at all.
there's a good chance that was the case.
And
Like you said, I
she's just
wasn't
trying to put up a barrier and get out in front of a situation, because I've been at these things before, and I've been at them with you, and you're just friendly and you're you're totally fine. But every now and then, somebody gets weirded out.
You're speaking the truth. 9 times out of 10, it is not the celebrity who has put these restrictions on. It is the handler.
Or it could be like that scene in The Running Man where Richard Dawson, the guy mops over his feet and he goes, hey, you're doing a great job. And he walks in the other room. That a-hole is working here. Later on today, you're going to be mopping the floor. But is there a chance maybe we could see about getting Joe on to talk to him and just say,
hey, are we okay? I'm really sorry.
I'd love to talk to him. I'd love to interview him anyway.
I would too. I really would love to have an opportunity to perhaps.
Well, go to the Disney rep. She was impressed.
Yeah, I know. No, here's the deal. If we were to get Joe on, he's not gonna be like, yeah, dude. He's going to be very diplomatic in that. But
Casey, I have had more moments in my life like that where I've walked out of a room and just felt horrible about myself for whatever way I reacted or have just presented myself, and it's a common thing, I mean,
I told you guys about this.
It lives in you.
Yeah, it does.
I told you guys about this, and I'll just call it an argument that I had in a Wawa parking lot too long ago. And I felt worse about this encounter than I did about that encounter. I really did. I felt worse about myself.
And that one almost came to blows.
No, it did.
Yeah.
It did. And I won't go into details, but I will let everybody know that I was in the wrong to begin with. But I had a very similar experience on Saturday night at the Fish concert. I was talking to a gentleman named Dave, who he was telling me about these guys that were standing behind me, and one of the guys just so happens to be a guitarist of a band that I actually just started listening to, and I was like, what? You know? And
Pretzels! Pretzels!
I'm like, oh my God, Corey Wong!
Pretzels! I like pretzels! Do you like pretzels?
You ever had a Wetzel's pretzel? No. So a guy's name's Corey Wong, and he's the guitarist for a band Wolfpack, and
I love Wolfpack.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So do I. And I started going a little bit off the rails, and then Dave, who introduced us, he sort of had to like qualify it. Hey, this guy is the producer for the #1 morning show in Philadelphia, and that's what he says. And I'm like, oh man,
I did it again.
I'm doing it again. I'm like, he's totally. He's saying to this guy, this dude's not just a, although I am.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right, let's reel it back a little bit. But this one time when you did this, no. So I tried to reel it back.
Pretzel bread. I like bread. So listen,
I didn't feel as
you
bad about
probably
that
felt
encounter.
it was worse than it was because now you were hyper aware of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't that bad.
It's challenging though too, because when you're with friends, when you're with loved ones, everybody smiles and nods and it's cool. When you're with strangers or somebody you've never met before, it changes the dynamic. And you have no idea what was going through Joe Keery's head. I'm sure he's fine and probably hasn't thought about it since then.
Right. Well, and
or
I've
that's
also,
the subject of his new movie.
Now, I've also been on the receiving end of a few of these experiences, right? People listen to the show and they're huge fans. Or, like, somebody will introduce me to somebody who clearly doesn't listen to the show, and that's fine, too. And now these people have to act like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, you don't have to.
Okay.
Right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to listen. I know you don't, and it's fun. But because of that, because of my experience that I had with Joe Keery, and to anybody, if you want to come up and say hi to me at a restaurant or a Wawa or where, please do it.
Absolutely.
Because the deal is, I don't have a job if it's not for you that's listening right now. It's just, it's as simple as that. All these great luxuries that I'm able to provide for my family are a direct result of you in your car or your home or your office or whatever listening to me right now. And so, same thing for you, Joe Keery. No.
Pretzels! Pretzels!
Wouldn't it be great if you guys open up a pretzel franchise, you and Joe Keery? You know?
I just want to own it by myself.
Local broadcasters open up a Wetzel's Pretzels with one of the stars of Stranger Things.
This is my thing. This is not Joe Keery's thing. This is my thing. And
I was trying to find a bridge.
No, there is no bridge. And you know what? And so at the very end of the night, an asteroid hit and we all died.
Right.
There you go.
So the worst part of this whole story, guys, is once I got done introducing the film and I walked out of the movie theater, I went to go to Wetzel's Pretzels because I wanted to buy some more to bring home to my family.
They were closed.
It was closed! I was like, what did you do with all those extra pretzels that were in the display case?
When was the last time? When was the last time you remember an all-night pretzel place?
It wasn't that late.
Hey,
it wasn't even 8 o'clock.
Was it as quickly when they introduced you to Joe? Was it as quickly? Hey man, how you doing? Hey, have you ever had Wetzel's Pretzels before? Was it that quick?
It was pretty close.
Yeah,
it was pretty damn close.
That
I've seen you do that before.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that type of thing where it's like, and I know what you're doing. You're just looking to have a normal conversation.
It's an
with someone,
icebreaker.
You're gonna charm them.
All right. Well, anyhow, we have to take a break, I think, right?
No, we do. As a matter of fact,
because otherwise I would go to these calls, but we have to.
No, we got to take a break.
The regional manager of Wetzel's Pretzels is on.
Santa's got to go.
He's
Pretzels got to go.
The Northeast region and wants to talk to you about franchise opportunities.
Listen, the closest one here is at the Fashion District. I already checked, and they're in North Jersey, but that's the only one that is around here.
All right.
So
I can't believe the winner in all of this is Wetzel's Pretzels.
Right, big time.
You know?
You kidding me? And you got to swing this bigger for me.
All right. Yes, slower too. A slower cadence. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah. Oh! You got two! Yeah! And he's getting prepared again. He's like a panther waiting to pounce. He jumps in. 2, 3, 3. And he's doing the Irish jig. All right. Casey's spying his time. He's in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That was the best one yet! That was so good. All right, retire!
That's how people die in this sport. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here we go. This is where it all comes together. All those years of yoga. 2, 3. Yes! Yes! I'd give that 4. I'd give that 4.
Yeah. Squirrels have been laying down flat on their stomachs with their legs stretched out behind them and in front of them. Apparently, this slows them to a complete stop in the soaring temperatures. And though these small mammals might look like they're in stealth mode, it turns out they're trying to cool off. And Steve, it's called splooting.
Splooting?
Yes. Squirrels have been splooting all over Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And an expert said it's...
You're going to be my regular Saturday night thing, baby.
He's going to sploot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to sploot. I'm going to sploot. Ladies and gentlemen, John Dornbach is joining us. Good day, John.
Rockstar, thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Anytime, bud. So, dude, it's how long since you've been and performed Magic live? Has there been a pause on that, or we know you haven't been in the area performing in a little while?
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half, right? So we're just getting up and going and excited to do so.
I have to ask you because I mentioned this to Casey. I watched the series Hacks with Gene Smart, which I thought was very funny. You appear in that, correct? That's you as the magician in one scene, correct?
Yeah, it was one of those things where HBO called and they're like, "Hey, HBO Max," and the director's like, "Hey, we need a magician. Gene Smart's this comedian, and will you play yourself?" And I was like, "Wait a minute. So what you're telling me is you want me to be on an HBO Max HBO show as myself?" Yeah, I think I can make that happen.
Right. No, it was a cool scene because there was a big party and she's at this palatial estate, and Caitlin Olsen was there as well. And but that was, you had to be shooting that during COVID restrictions and stuff like that, right? Was there a whole bunch of, I mean, the party seemed packed, but I'm sure they took extra precautions.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's the insurance companies, right? So a ton of precaution. It's funny because it's like 6 seconds, right? It was like 5 days, you know what I mean? But it's like you get 6 seconds. What was really, really cool is when I used to play for the Bills, Chris McDonald, who's an actor in a ton of stuff. I love his stuff. He was Shooter McGavin. And
he's great.
He's from upstate New York, so he would go to a lot of games. So him and I would hang out like way back in the day. And so when I sat next to him, I was like, "Hey, Chris." He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm Chris. I'm like, "Dude, Dornbach, long snapper, Bills." He's like, "Oh my God!" It's kind of we got to hang out for a few days, and he's such a nice guy.
He seems like a great dude.
Well, your beard is more pronounced right now, so maybe that was part of it too.
Well, it's called Children. The grays are coming in.
How many kids do you have now?
Yeah, one. I should have said child.
Oh, okay.
But a split personality. Yeah.
But my wife takes care of me too, so she has children.
Right. Yeah, she's got two.
Hey, John, when you're putting together your act or show, and I haven't seen, you've performed for us many times here in the studio, but I've never gone to your actual live show. What's it like? Because there's various types of magicians. There are people who put on a big, lots of pyrotechnics and effects, and there's people, the ones that I find more impressive are the ones who are mainly doing sleight of hand and really blowing you away with their storytelling and all the stuff that goes along with that. What's your style?
Well, perfect intro because lucky for you, I'm a storyteller, sleight of hand, and we do some big stuff. So I'm really proud of the show. It's my life story. And so it's the ups and downs that I've had through life, the magic that I found along the way that got me out of it. It's inspiring. It's motivating. Look, we do some mind-blowing magic, obviously, because that's what I love to do. But I promise you it's not like this gratuitous magic show where you just dance around and want to be David Copperfield. I love that. I just don't want to be that.
Right.
It's funny because the first... I grew up with like Blackstone the Magician and all these, and Houdini, obviously, and all this stuff. And there was that sort of presentation, the presentation where there was a narrative that would start to move in, where there was a story told through the magic, started to happen, I guess. Maybe it was Doug Henning, one of the first, who kind of did like a connected narrative with the magic. Is that correct, John?
Yeah. And Lance Burton did an interview way back when, and it was basically like the hardest part about magic is to get people to care. If I do a dove routine, why do people care?
Right.
And my style has always just gone towards telling personal experience and life stories that obviously, well, so when you tell a personal story, people connect to it, people relate to it, and then people start thinking about things in their life that are similar, right? And so it's a way to trigger. And then all of a sudden you do magic and it breaks down this barrier, this wall, and people become vulnerable like kids. And so now what you say to me is 10 times more impactful. Look, I'm a big fan of your show. I'm a big fan of rock and roll. I wanted to be a rock star. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play an instrument.
Right, yeah.
Check that off the old box. You know? But cards and magic became my instrument.
Our next guest stopping in this morning, he's got a Netflix special. Is going to be debuting next Tuesday on the 11th. He's been here before. We've had the chance to talk to him on a few occasions, and he had 2 life-altering strokes that he has experienced, and therefore has brilliantly named his Netflix special Different Strokes. And we would like to welcome Keith Robinson to our show this morning. Hey, Keith.
Hey, what's up, man?
It is good to see you.
Different strokes.
Right? I love that. I love that. So, yeah, so you're taking this, these things that have happened to you, these life-altering, like I said, things that have happened to you, and taking it head-on in this comedy special.
Yes.
All right.
I had to.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to trash the nurses and doctors.
Yeah.
But I decided, to go light on them.
Go light on them. All right.
Yeah, I went light on them, but I wanted to really give it to them.
Yeah. So I had mentioned that there were 2, one in 2016 and then 2020.
Yes.
And was, one worse than the other, or were they both the same? Or I don't know how that works out.
That's why they're different strokes.
Different strokes.
Come on, man. What?
So
the first stroke wasn't nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man. What?
That was easy.
Yeah. The second stroke rocked me.
It rocked you. So you're walking now with a cane. You have a little bit of paralysis. Yeah. You're sharp, obviously. So this is a level of frustration, and it's weird, Keith, because over the past year and a half, 2 years, people in my sphere, and I know other people keep relaying, people having strokes. Like there was a mutual friend of ours who was getting a chiropractic adjustment and had a stroke during that.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So and then there's a and to varying degrees, the thing you always hear is the sooner you can identify and get it treated, the better you're going to be. What was the status with the second stroke when it hit you?
Well,
the second
stroke, you said the sooner you can do it, the better.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it special where I flew to Arizona to get laid.
Okay.
All right. We're doing it heart of the pandemic.
Yeah, heart of the pandemic.
I decided to go to, Arizona. The girl said, come over, all right?
Yeah.
Near Thanksgiving. Yeah. Anybody was having family meetings, so I can go, frolic a little bit.
Right, yeah.
So I go down there, I'm riding on a plane, I'm getting drunk as hell.
Okay.
Bam, whop, oh, bam, bam. The pilot makes an announcement. 20 minutes left in the flight. Okay, 20 minutes left, 10 minutes to the girl's house.
Yeah.
30 minutes. I decided to pop a Viagra.
Oh, wow.
You popped a Viagra. Right. In preparation.
Yeah.
You're just a man with a plan. Yeah.
But I don't know. I got off the plane. My vision is blurry.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit, it's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so
yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
Oh,
he
crap.
said OS. Oh,
Yeah,
crap. It's happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
crap. Zip, bam, boom. So, I get an Uber.
Yeah.
Now I'm really feeling bad.
Yeah.
But I had a decision to make. Should I go to the girl's house?
Yeah. Or go to the hospital.
Yeah. And get laid.
Yeah.
Or go to the hospital and live.
Yeah. What'd you do?
You know what I did.
And you lived anyway.
And
Wait, so what's the Viagra?
I don't know.
You don't know.
And a Viagra it helps with blood flow, and that's what it does.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Please.
I just saw yesterday an article that talked about drinking on airplanes and how if you have some type of and I have to go back and fully read it, but I've got it set aside. If you do have a heart condition, that it can be negative in its impact on you. If you're drinking alcohol, you're at a certain altitude, flying in an aircraft. And maybe you pop a little blue pill or two. I don't know if that's part of it, but you never know. They're still figuring some of these things out. You know what I mean?
You should have taken Ozempic.
It wasn't out there.
So you obviously you make your living. You speak on stage. You're doing all of this, and obviously you're approaching this with a great attitude. But my friend, our mutual friend, who had kind of the effects of it for just a little bit, talked about how massively frustrating it is. How have you been with the frustration? Are you the kind of guy who just says, well, this is what I got, I'm going to move along? How's it been?
Well, I say exactly. This is exactly what I deserve. I should have went straight to the hospital.
Okay, yeah.
I got it is, at first it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that's bugging me more than anything now is like other handicapped comics.
Yeah.
They don't respect my handicap.
Because really?
Because you weren't born with it? Yes.
Son of a bitch.
They very disrespectful. They look like, he got what he deserved. He was asking for it. I mean, I probably was, but come on, man.
You're being crapped on by handicapped comics. You'd figure they would get it. There's just no luck in this world.
They don't think I'm authentic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're a pretender.
Yeah.
You're like, what do they call it? Stolen valor.
Yeah.
Stop it. Wow.
Oh, man.
So let me ask you, if I can dive a little deeper here, Keith. Did the girl take you to the hospital?
No, the ambulance.
Okay, so I didn't know. I didn't know if she knew what was going on.
Was there a certain point during that session where she thought, my God, this is the greatest lover I've ever had?
Not at all. But you know what? The Viagra still worked.
Oh, really?
Through the stroke, and still was.
Yeah. Well,
it was holding strong.
Oh my God!
You should then get an endorsement deal because
I'm trying to.
Yeah, you've certainly put it to the litmus test.
Oh my goodness!
Well, man, so the special, which is Netflix June 11th, and you had some luminaries in the audience. From what it says, you had Wanda Sykes and Amy Schumer, and all these people coming out to see you. So this was obviously prior. Well, when was this? When was this shot? This special?
This summer.
Okay. All right. So leading up to that, you're a practiced comedian for years and years and years. With all this added to the plate, were you nervous, or how did you prep the material, or I mean, because it's a different animal at this point,
Wait
right?
a minute.
Yeah.
I had 2 strokes.
Yeah.
You think of me nervous?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, because you're used to. You refine this material and you work on it, and you know, and it'd be understandable.
No, you just, I've been doing this 40 years.
Yeah. That's what I was
I'm
wondering.
not, now's not the time to be nervous.
Right. You hope you're made of better stuff that you could withstand it, but I don't know. Everyone, you don't know until you walk in your shoe. Yeah.
I mean, what's scary because I had to do 2 shows, and then my voice isn't going to hold up. Because like all through it, 2 years, it took me to really get a flow with conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
So my voice was out on whack for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what would happen,
And the progress can be slow, rehabbing, right?
Yes.
So you had to be really patient, and that had to be frustrating.
Yes, that was very, this is a true story. This is real. Like, what got my voice out, gave me a little bit more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the hospital, University of Penn, whatever.
Okay.
But the speech pathologist was saying, learn to repeat words.
Yeah.
You know, ba, ba.
Yeah.
You know, and she said, keep repeating that. I said, okay, I have to make one call now. So I called Robert Kelly.
Yeah, Robert Kelly.
Right? This is 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm on the phone, and I'm like, okay, Bob. Hey, Bob answered the phone. I'm like, Bob's a fat. Bob's a fat.
That was your therapy? Bob's a fat F? And I bet he was laughing his ass off. Yeah.
That's the best.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
So Bob helped me get my voice back.
Oh, that's awesome. Has the comedy community been supportive? You've been,
yes.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
great.
It come through, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man.
Wow.
So you're Philly born, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. And so where are you living now? Are you here or where?
No, I live in like Union, New Jersey.
Okay.
Okay.
Close to New York.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And are you getting out? Are you doing clubs much these days, or is it?
Well, I've been on tour with Wanda,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Or I'm just flying, and I'm like, whew.
Yeah. What's traveling like now that you've had
It's
this?
hard.
Yeah, it's got to be right.
No Viagra.
No Viagra.
Dude, though, you get pre-boarding though.
Yeah, you get on first.
You get pre-boarded.
Oh, I love it. The free boarding.
Yeah.
If you've ever wanted to go to amusement parks, now's the time.
Yes. That's what Wanda says she's going to do. She's going to take me to the amusement. Get in.
Cut the line. Yeah.
And leave me out in the sun. Come on, Wanda.
Oh my goodness.
That's great.
Comedian friends are the best.
Well, Liz, again, you're doing great. I mean, years ago we had a gentleman who worked here in the mailroom, and he had a profound stroke, and it changed his. He had to give up working. Here you are. You're
still working.
You're blessed in that way. I mean, you always. My mother taught me years ago, you know, you compartmentalize and you say, well, what do I have that's good? And then when you lay that out, it kind of helps.
Yeah.
And you're doing that, you know.
Well, you got to.
Yeah.
Well, that was my main thing with the special.
Yeah.
Being funny.
Yeah.
Getting the funny out of it. I don't want no tear joker. Oh, everything.
Right.
I'm fooey. I got busted taking Viagra on an airplane.
It's one of the great stories. You know, who was it who had? Was it John Popper from the
from Blues Traveler?
Blues Travelers. He had a heart attack.
Don't say blues, please.
While he was pleasuring himself,
Yeah.
he had a heart attack.
He had a heart attack, and it became the story of legend. Let me ask you: are you getting people who are stroke survivors reaching out to you?
Yeah.
It's got to make you feel good.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people coming to me crying. I'm like, oh, gee.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
You're giving them a reason to laugh, though, and to put it in where it is in the universe. It's like, this is what you got. It's like we talk about with animals or pets that we have that sometimes it's hard for humans to do because we put all this stuff around it. But so a pet loses a leg or something. Okay, I guess this is what I got now.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of fortitude to move ahead and like do what you're doing. So it's an amazing thing. And to have this special is what an achievement.
Well, I think it's because I'm like delusional.
Yeah.
Like I'm walking like I can actually still walk.
Right, yeah.
So I just walk cooler with my cane.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you know.
You're like Dolomite.
Yes. Damn. Can I say damn?
Yeah.
You say damn.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, Keith, we're very happy for you, man. This is great. We want to urge everyone to see the Netflix special that Keith has put out. It's available next Tuesday, June 11th. Like Steve said, there's a lot of luminaries in the audience, so you got a lot of good support from a lot of good people, and we're very happy for you, man.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks for coming by here this morning.
I love it.
We appreciate it. All right, Keith Robinson. The specialists called different strokes. I mean, that's just brilliant. All right, we got to do our segment, the Bizarre File. We're going to do this right now. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, it's brought to you this morning by Sequoia Outback. You can get inspired as you cruise through 3 floors of decking, pavers, outdoor furniture, umbrellas, and fire pits, all staged in the largest outdoor showroom in the country, Route 309 in Hatfield. We will start with this. This is pretty wild. A family in Texas got more than they bargained for when they took their 2-year-old daughter to a drive-through safari because a giraffe actually picked the kid up out of the car.
This footage is wild.
Quite literally, yeah. The encounter was from over the weekend was captured on camera, showing the moment little Paisley got lifted up and dropped by a hungry giraffe while she and her family were visiting in the Fossil Rim Wildlife Center in Glen Rose, Texas, cruising through in their truck. Paisley was riding in the truck bed with her mom when her dad stopped so that they could feed a giraffe. And that's when the giant animal reached down for a bag of food that the kid was holding, grabbing hold of her shirt.
To be honest, I would have thought that would have been an issue to begin. I'm surprised they let them go through like that.
The giraffe lifted Paisley up in the air with its mouth, frightening the girl's parents. Fortunately, all it took to get the giraffe to let loose of Paisley was mom shouting, "Hey!"
Shotgun.
And Paisley fell back into her mother's arms and somehow wasn't harmed by the animal encounter, though her dad said, "My heart stopped, my stomach dropped, and it scared me." So she was holding the bag of food down by her chest.
Yeah.
And the giraffe accidentally just caught her shirt and picked her up. He thought he was eating food.
So think of it, though. The giraffe lifts the girl up to full height and
and like a dozen feet in the air. And yes, that could be very, very bad. So the Wildlife Center says it's best to hold the food pellets above your head when trying to feed the giraffes, and probably for that very reason. Here's a follow-up story to one we had the other day in Nebraska. A woman who had been pronounced dead and later came back to life in a Lincoln funeral home.
Yeah.
She's dead now. She was on hospice at that time, and her time was running out. Constance Glantz, 74 years old, was pronounced dead for a second time on Monday. Attorney Pat Condon ordered an autopsy.
Oh my God, she's alive again!
That will be performed. The sheriff's office will give it.
Give me that.
Problem solved.
I don't have time for this.
I'm running a friggin' business here.
We can wrap it up now.
So
I'm still alive.
Really? Clean it up.
the sheriff's office will give an update once the final autopsy report is completed. The investigation is ongoing, by the way. Give me that.
Give me that. Mop that up.
That ain't going anywhere. All right. What should you do if you have the world's largest collection of fossilized poop? Well, you open a pooseum, of course.
A pooseum?
Yes. At least that's what George Franzen has dubbed his newly opened museum in Williams, Arizona, which offers visitors free access to the approximately 8,000 pieces that make up his coprolite collection, better known as fossilized poop. Franzen said initially many people react with a yuck face or laughter when they first hear about the pooseum. However, after witnessing the collection, their reactions often shift to shock at the diverse and intriguing nature of coprolites.
So I assume that fossilized poop is like a rock, right?
I would think so,
right.
yeah.
I mean, if they're saying fossilized.
Yeah, he said, given that most people have little to no experience with coprolites, it's enjoyable to introduce them to this fascinating world and share the wonders they hold.
Coprolite replace, coprolite repair.
I'm sorry. Franzen has long been fascinated by dinosaurs and fossils, and that interest extended to fossilized poop when he first saw one aged 18 at a visit to a rock and fossil shop in Utah.
There you go.
So he now has a whole museum. All right, one more story. I know this is kind of quick, but we had Keith in, so we're going to keep this one a little bit short. A New Hampshire man has been sentenced to 40 years to life in prison for this is a follow-up story, for fatally stabbing his mother after the two had argued about the volume on the video game he was playing. Thomas Humphrey, 47 years old, was sentenced Tuesday after he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and arson in the death of Linda Tufts, who was 70 years old. A prosecutor said Humphrey, who lived in the basement, stabbed Tufts multiple times and then lit her body on fire.
Yep, this is a classic. You got a son living in the basement playing video games all day.
Here's the real horrible part about this. The prosecutor said the two had recently argued about how loud he was playing video games on the PlayStation she had just given him for his birthday.
Oh, man.
Police said they found Humphrey.
I expected more from a cellar dweller.
The bottom of the basement stairs.
From my little chud.
With self-inflicted wounds holding a knife. He had previously pleaded not guilty to the charges, but dude, going to prison for a while. And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, we will take a break. We'll come back in a moment. In a little over a half hour, Tony Hale is going to be here from Inside Out 2, the voice of beer.
Yes.
And he, by the way, he was in
Buster.
No, the Forky.
Forky
yes, Thank you.
Yeah,
You got
Toy Story 4.
Love that character. So we're going to talk to him a little bit later. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The ballad or the jam can be whatever it is you say around it.
That's awesome.
John, did you happen to see a special on Hulu called In and of Itself with a guy named Derek Delgaudio?
First of all, huge fan of Delgaudio. I'm like the only magician that has not seen this yet. I have no excuse. I've been wanting to see this. I heard it's phenomenal.
It's just really super unique, and that's what I think is really cool about, taking what you do and putting a unique spin on it. And he's very much tells the story of his life as well during that show.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to make a promise to the Preston and Steve show. I will be watching it tonight.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
But it's similar in your life story, which has so many. I mean, if you were to just get up and do a TED Talk about your life, that alone would be interesting. You have such rich fodder to draw upon for the magic. But as you start to develop a show and change it and alter it, and add illusions and tricks or whatever you like to refer to them as, where do you get the opportunity to go do that? Do you have a warehouse, or do you have, not that you're like David Copperfield making planes disappear or whatever, but do you have an actual lab or something that you go to where you work on this stuff?
Yeah, I have a lab. It's my house at Oak Brook Circle.
That's it.
That little garage over there on the side that we don't quite use, that we don't know what to do with the lawnmower, so we shove it in there.
And it's that simple. You just go in and a room in your house and.
Yeah, you know what? I got a great creative team, and so Blake Voigt, Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is the guy behind David Blaine, all his TV stuff for years and years.
Well,
we're really good friends. Yeah, we're good friends. But what these people are really good at is when us three get in a room and we jam. It's like songwriting, right? Some people just gel, and it's important to know one another's style, and so they kind of get my style. And we just create stuff, which is fun.
You know, it's funny because so many musicians, and the words sound very similar, by the way. But you'll take a chord progression and turn it a little bit and make it something new. And I get that impression as being the same with magicians. Okay, there's this old style trick. We're going to turn it, do this, put this narrative behind it, and make it something new. Is that a large part of what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's like music. There's like 5 chords. Am I right?
Yeah.
I should know this. Six chords. Well, magic, there's 5 things you can do, and I should probably know these 5. You can disappear, you can reappear, you can change, and there's like 2 other things you can do.
Right.
So it's taking a spin on that.
You're getting a little too intricate for us.
Well, let me ask you. I was expecting manipulation. Some of these other
you change, you disappear, you come back, and then there's 3 other things.
2 other things.
So, all right. So there have been some in the magic world. There have been some constants, obviously, but there has been new variables over the years in technology and stuff. And over the last year, with being able to do things via Zoom and virtually, has that presented itself any new opportunities for you?
Yeah, so in the Zoom world, which is here we are. I did a lot of like keynotes. Believe it or not, the virtual keynote speaking market was out of this world, right? And so I'd be able to do tricks through Zoom, which is kind of cool. I created a few things. Now it's a completely different medium. It's a completely different way of doing things. Right now, you're isolated in this little frame here. So, It was a fun, challenging time.
Do you get called? I mean, obviously, I know when I was doing stand-up comedy, I used to do corporate gigs fairly often. Is that still out there? Substantially with so many people working from home and all that change because of what we just went through. Is that still a rich area for you as a magician to work in?
The Zoom market?
The corporate, corporate events and things of that nature. Yeah, is that a big moneymaker for you without getting?
Yeah, but
I don't need a dollar amount.
Yeah, baby, throw me the money. But not so much as a magician. Like I said, I get hired out as a speaker, and I get to do whatever magic I want within that.
I got
One of the
you.
best advice I ever got was my rookie year, and this guy Kevin Elko, he's a speaker, and I was in the weight room. He's like, "Hey, I'll give you a couple $100 to go talk to these bankers." I was like, "I'm in." He goes, "You know that stupid little pencil trick you do?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "They'll eat it up. Tell your story how you went to college." So I was like, "Okay." And then afterwards, he literally pulled me aside and he goes, "Listen, kid." I was 23. He goes, "Listen, kid, I'm going to give you some advice. Look, the magic's cute. I get it. You need to be a speaker, and you'll thank me for it." And so I've been a speaker ever since. And obviously, the cap that companies are willing to spend on a magician is quite a bit smaller than a speaker.
Right.
And so
True.
Hey, you can call me whatever you want.
Just a reminder, John's going to be at Borgata Music Box on Friday, 2 shows. By the way, John, so what role does football play in your life now? Just a observer or anything else?
I have some friends call me here and there, and they'll have because a lot of the guys I played with now are coaching either high school, college, or whatever, and they'll have a snapper or a specialist. They'll say, "Hey, man, can you work with this kid? Can you give me some advice?" And we can do it over Zoom. We can do it live. And so I'm just kind of like the guy that just kind of goes in, helps out. Believe it or not, there's been some coaches that have left the Eagles and gone on to other teams, and they're like, "Hey, we'd love to bring you in here and just kind of help build the culture of an organization," which for me, I think that was a bigger compliment than help me with X's and O's. I think that was kind of a role I had with the Eagles for a long, long time. And that was, establish a culture, get a sense of community and family within a locker room, care about one another. And then you don't have to be the greatest of athletes to win.
I have a very objective question to ask you, John. Which fans are crazier, Bills fans or Eagles fans? Because Bills fans over the last few years have really upped their game in the level of craziness that they bring. The Bills Mafia, as I think now kind of rivals the insanity that Eagles fans bring every week.
I'll say this. I mean, anybody that's out there in minus 20-degree weather with no shirt on, run around in the parking lot, I mean, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different level of crazy. For those that have never been to Buffalo, wow. It was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me to get picked up by the Bills. And then it was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me to get released by the Bills. Because that place was hard. I mean, it was like, now look, you're talking about a kid who came from Southern California. So like I had seen snow, but I had never seen snow.
Yeah, that is snow.
And, and now keep in mind, I kind of hacked my way into college, right? I sent somebody else's film. So when I got into the NFL, I was still trying to figure out how to snap. And so to go to Buffalo and try and play in that weather and be a specialist. Look, I played with Drew Bledsoe. That guy had one of the strongest arms I've ever seen. I remember there was games that he couldn't even throw a 10-yard out because the wind was so bad.
Yeah.
And then the coach was ticked off at me that I couldn't snap one. Drew can't throw it 10 yards. You want me to look between my legs?
Yeah. Right.
John, I went to the Eagles-Bills game, it had to have been 2 years ago, and the wind was crazy. We couldn't even kick extra points at this point. The wind was so bad, they kept going for 2-point conversions.
God, that's savage.
But I will say, I thought the fans were great. I didn't get there early enough to really hang out in the tailgate area or whatever. But I bought tickets that were close enough in the end zone, so I just wanted to get on either A, get on TV, which I did, or B, catch a football either via kickoff or whatever, and a football landed 2 seats away from me. So I know I was so close, but I had a great time and. They had great hot dogs in the stadium.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, think about this. Philadelphia has restaurants Zama, love sushi. Come on, Redstone. Hello, still here, guys.
Kathy.
Oh yes.
I mean, and Buffalo has
wings.
Hey, let me ask you. Do you have Wetzel's Pretzels there by any chance?
Oh, I don't know.
Casey's a big fan.
Good wings.
Yeah.
But Buffalo was great, man. But like I said, what a hard place to play, man. Hard place.
Wow. Nice. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. How about that, man?
Yeah, you got your own backstage and all that. Everything. What is your writer like? Is there anything super unique in a John Dorenbos writer when you show up at the Borgata?
Michelob. So this is funny.
Yeah.
So I was never. I didn't really drink alcohol a whole lot, and I never drank beer. I didn't like beer. Right. I didn't like beer. So my wife's like, "Oh, this is cool. So when you stop working out and stop playing football, now you're going to drink beer." Right. Okay. Good timing. So I got nothing crazy. I just got my Michelob Gold Ultras carb conscious beer.
Carb conscious beer.
Crazy.
That's it.
And do you have? All right. So do you have an exclusive partnership with a playing card? Do you know what I mean?
So I use bicycles now. This is crazy. The president of United States Playing Card Company, huge fan, very nice guy. But this company, zero advertising, zero endorsements for anybody. They just don't need it. They don't
They're
do
just
it.
the best.
And
They're like
so
the Louisville
now-
Sluggers. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good point.
And is that the choice for most magicians? Bicycle?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I like the air cushion finish. Apparently, just gets
Air
it done
cushion
for me.
finish.
Air cushion finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I keep these guys everywhere. But bicycle is the most consistent. And now you're gonna get me going. But to be able just to kind of do things like that looked really good on Zoom right there. But they just feel good. They just look good, right? And so they fan nice. Like, come on, are you kidding me? Watch this. Hey, for those at home, I'm just
that's impressive.
That's an impressive fan. Hey, John, can you do the one where you where you're just holding the deck in your hand flat and you just flip that top card up in the air and over? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, and he's coughing him up. I'm blown away by that stuff. It's just.
This comes out of the center. Oh,
man!
You know what I mean?
Wow!
Man, and he catches it. Here's something here. Little Zoom something for you. It's going to be hard. Preston, you're the guy in the camera here, so I'm just going to use you. Just say stop.
And stop right there. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna out jog that.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard here on Zoom, but here we go. Can you see that or no?
Yep, I got it.
What do you see?
I see the 10 of diamonds.
Ooh. Perfect. Do you have a cell phone, a wallet, pad of paper?
I got a cell phone.
He's got a cell phone and whatever you need.
I have a pad of paper and a wallet.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Do you have all three?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, get them. Okay.
We're a major market show.
Yeah. Okay, so put your wallet on your hand first.
Okay. Dear God.
Okay, here it comes.
Yeah.
And then your phone on top of that.
Okay.
Pad of paper on top of that.
Yeah.
And then your hand on top of that.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be sick. One more time. What do you see?
10 of diamonds.
10 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hopefully this will work. I don't know, but watch. If we take the 10 through Zoom,
it's gone.
Okay.
We can get it to vanish.
Okay.
Preston, lift your hand up.
Dude, no. Okay.
Lift the paper up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nothing under the paper. Yep.
Yeah. Put it down. Lift the phone up.
Okay.
Yeah. And now put that down.
Okay.
And now just lift your wallet straight up.
Okay.
Is there something on your hand? You would have flipped out if it was. Hold on.
Okay.
You know what? It might have not gone through. Can you pick your wallet up again?
Yeah.
Can you open it?
Yes.
Is there something inside? Go ahead and look through there. Is there something in the?
Are you serious?
Shut up.
No way.
Stop it.
There's a 10 of diamonds in Preston's
I mean,
wallet.
that's as good as I can get through Zoom. Right there.
Which one of you a-holes took my wallet and put this in here? That's insane.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
The 10 of diamonds.
You're the devil.
Yeah, and go Borgata Friday night. I will be there.
Yes, and honestly,
That
that room
just
is
happened.
That room is perfect for magic. By the way, it's going to be awesome.
Why couldn't you do that with like $100 bill?
I thought it was gonna if I had a $10 bill or something in that he would.
That's awesome.
Screw you, man. And I mean that lovingly. That's insane, dude. You're crazy. All right, John, we love you, pal. It's good to talk to you. And have a great time in AC.
Yeah, and if you guys want to give away tickets, give them away. Let me know.
All right, that'd be awesome.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you so much. John freaking Dorenbos.
Now you're trying to figure out what the hell happened. I had nothing to do with that.
3 WMMR.
Do a shout out, a little plug-a-rooney here real quick. This is from Sarah D. Emailed me and said, hey, I'd like to send a juicy shout out to my boyfriend Kevin for his last day of school on Thursday, June 6th. This is his first year teaching culinary
Nice.
at a technical high school, and he wakes his ass up early to drive over an hour to get there. We both listen every day. He listens to the first half of the show while I catch the end half, so unfortunately she's hearing it and he's not hearing it. She says, when I leave for work, if you could send this out, that'd be great. And he works at the TCHS Pennock's Bridge in West Grove. And she says, peace and love. So that's from Sarah D. And that is for Kevin. So good luck, Kev. And then I want to mention an event that I'm a part of Sunday, June 23rd. It is called the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation Take Steps Philadelphia. It is hosted by yours truly, and this is for people who have issues with Crohn's, colitis, inflammatory bowel diseases, and all that. I've been a member of this event or part of this event for years and years. My youngest has Crohn's disease, so that's how we became involved, and it is a day full of fun for the whole family. Food trucks, photo stations, live music, inflatables, and you get to walk the field at the link, meet the Eagles mascot Swoop, of course, and a lot of times they'll have like the drum line come out, and cheerleaders and
Very
stuff.
cool.
So I'm not sure what all exactly is planned this year, but it's usually really big. So proceeds benefit the Crohn's Colitis Foundation. You can go to PrestonandSteve.com or WMMR.com and get the info and register or donate. And you can be part of my walk group, which we're called the Shart Breakers. If you would like to sign up and be a part of it, we very much would appreciate it because there's a lot of people in our area that need your help. So I wanted to give that a little plug. We have results in. The Jersey Shore 64 round 1 is complete. And we now move on to the next batch, which is called the Taffy 32.
The Thirsty 32.
The Thirsty 32. Thank you. There was back and forth on the name. I like Thirsty 32
Thirsty
better.
works better.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be kind of nice to go through the matchups and who won what.
Yes.
And get us ready for round number 2, which is the voting now enabled for round 2. All right, so you can do round 2. So let me go through these and let you guys know who has moved on. So we'll begin with Maurice Piers versus Longport Fishing Pier. Maurice, the victor.
Oh,
yes. Then we had the Wetlands Institute versus Ocean City Coffee Company. Ocean City Coffee Company won that one.
I'm a big fan of Ocean City Coffee Company.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Sam's Pizza Palace versus Fudge Kitchen. Which one do you guys think?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say Fudge Kitchen.
All right. Kathy's right. Fudge Kitchen.
That surprises
Sorry,
me.
Casey that was a what?
No. My wife is a big Sam's Pizza person down in Wildwood. I prefer Max over Sam's, so this is going to be a shot to her.
See, this all sounds. This is a virgin territory. I'm not aware of any of these places, so now I have places to check out.
All right. Then we had Gypsy Bar against Buckets, and walking away victorious Buckets.
Yeah,
the
that's
winner.
Preston Margaritas.
Margaritas.
Where's Buckets?
It's right next to Reed's in Stone Harbor.
Oh.
And that like the water park, the slides and all that for the kids are right there. So
Are you having fun?
Well, yeah, parents will they'll pay for their kids to go in the bay and play on the water slides and stuff like that, and then you can sit in buckets. It's right on the water, and you can watch the kids.
Well, speaking of the Reeds, that was up next against Kicks in Sea Isle, and the Reeds won that. I've had dinner a couple times at the Reeds. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
Good food. Really cool atmosphere. Yep. Then you have the Doo-Wop Wawa, which is in Wildwood, against Henry's Bar. And Doo-Wop Wawa wins.
Doo-Wop Wawa won.
Yeah.
I don't know Henry's Bar, though, Kath. Which one is that?
That's also an outside bar. It's attached to Baraka Cafe. So it's sort of the outside portion, but the food is separate. Drinks are separate.
What town?
It's right in the center, right at JFK in Seattle.
Okay.
All right. Then we had Stephen Cookies, which is where the infamous "You'll never be loud back in this town again." Kelsey's viral video moment happened. That went up against Uncle Bill's. Wow. What do you guys think?
Uncle Bill's.
Uncle Bill's.
I'm not familiar.
Stephen Cookies is so famous, though.
But there's
a lot of Uncle Bill's.
Okay, Uncle
Bill's won it. Yeah.
And we found out that Jason and Kylie had eaten breakfast at Uncle Bill's that same weekend.
Yeah. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. All right. Then you had Congress Hall against Stone Harbor Golf Club.
Oh, that's two very different entities there.
I would say Congress Hall.
But two very
Higher end?
Yeah. Congress Hall did win.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So
That's so amazing.
it is a beautiful.
I love
place.
it there.
Yep.
They should advertise.
Then you had Lucy the Elephant against Marita's Ice Cream. I mean, Lucy
Come
is
on.
a
Legend. Yeah.
an icon. All right, then you have the Princeton, which is in
Avalon.
against Sand Jam, which is a series of surf shops with clothing. And Sand Jam beat out the Princeton.
I believe
Surprise.
it. Yeah.
That's you know what? I was telling Casey, Sand Jam, you will see cars all around the place with stickers on them. People are fanatical about the Sand Jam.
So they put stickers of the business on their membership? Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
and I mean it's more of a. I mean, you could say it's a sticker of a business, but it's more of a fashion thing,
Almost like Salt Life.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm a beach bum type thing.
Like Baby on Board?
Like Baby on Board. Then you have Sunset Beach against La Scala's Beach House. And the winner there is Sunset Beach.
No kidding.
Which
Gay man, right?
I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, it's you know what you can watch there is the
sunset.
The sunset.
It's where the sunken ship is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. I just never.
But at the other
have
place, you can watch scallops.
been on the beach here. No, La Scalas,
So,
not
Kat,
scallops.
Do you think La Scala would have had a better chance had it still been the Laguna Beach Bar? Because it's the same
it's the
place.
same
it's
thing,
it's just
no.
the ownership has changed.
I think just enough brigantine, not enough brigantine people voted.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Castaway Cove, which is that's a like an entertainment miniature golf thing, right?
No, it's an amusement park in Ocean City.
Boardwalk, yeah.
okay, all right.
Rides and roller
in Ocean
coaster.
City. I have been there. Okay, and I don't know Ocean City.
You don't know
as
that
well.
area?
Against Core Brothers,
which is a dialysis place.
No, it's not.
Custard.
It's an ice cream
okay.
place.
Yeah.
Or custard. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Core Brothers.
What do you think,
custard
Jeff?
seems.
I guess Core Brothers.
Core Brothers.
Yeah, Core Brothers. Yeah, definitely. And those are all over the shore. So yeah, I can see that.
That Core Brothers is right next to Castaway Cove.
Castaway Cove, yeah.
All right, then you have Surfing Pig, which is in North Wildwood, and Primal Surf. Where's Primal Surf?
I don't know.
I think Primal Surf is. Oh gosh, I don't know.
Brigantine.
I was going to say it was in Brigantine.
All right, Surfing Pig won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Surfing Pig's a good place. We love that joint. Then you have Mud Hen Brewing. That is in Wildwood. And then Circle Pizza going up against each other.
Oh,
and Mud Hen won.
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Mud Hen is becoming this really big complex.
Yeah.
They keep adding on to it.
Have any pizza joints won yet in the first round?
No.
Not
That's surprising. 'cause
Not yet.
They're all staples.
All right, then we have the Windrift, the Tiki Bar, against Powhana, which is the
Which
tiki
is the floating
boat.
tiki bar.
And the
that had
winner, the winner is the Windrift Tiki Bar.
I haven't been there in a little while. I do like it, the Windrift.
It's like it's just a
Yeah.
staple of
Yeah.
Avalon.
Classic tiki bar?
It's on the beach, and yeah, like everyone goes there.
Oh, you know what? Didn't Icona buy? Okay.
Yes, I
Icona bought
believe
it.
so.
Yes. Yeah. So it's the very last block in Avalon right before it meets Stone Harbor.
Oh, all right.
So you are, if you're just tuning in, this is the Jersey Shore 64. We're giving you the results of round one. This is the last matchup on the left side of our page here. The Deauville Inn against Pirate Voyage.
I love the Deauville.
It's got to be Deauville.
I will always associate it with the Casey and Kathy.
What is the Deauville?
Wait, what? Oh,
It's on the water
God,
in north end of Strathmere, Steve.
I
It's on
blocked that out.
It's on the bay side, and Casey and Kathy and I had an appearance there probably 15 years ago, and we
during
all,
the week. It was
during the week,
mid-week appearance.
Yeah, we got wrecked on the way down. We
We
drank
had
more when
a
we
limo
got there.
ride.
Yeah, then we drove back. I mean, we didn't drive, but we had a ride back. We had a bunch of listeners. Casey got off in the middle of the Blue Route.
I told them, I said, listen, get off the here because there's a ton of construction on the Blue Route.
Yeah.
The traffic is stopped.
You were right.
I was right. And somebody, my vote was vetoed, Kathy. And then the second we got past the Broomall exit, traffic stopped, and I was like, I'm getting out. And I literally walked home, and I beat you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
We sat
But I
on
still love the Deauville.
Well, I'm happy.
Well, and they've updated it.
Because the Deauville Inn won.
Nice. There you
in the
go.
matchup. Yeah, and that's a cool little spot. I haven't been in there. I've driven by
yeah?
it in Strathmere. I love
like it.
Strathmere's really
You
cool.
have to go. They've updated the whole outside area. They it was one of the only places on the bay, and they redid where you can sit and have dinner. Now you can make a reservation for inside, but no reservations otherwise. It's, show up, you put your name on the list, you can sit outside, and then they have next to it is a beach bar where you can, if you have a boat, you can pull your boat up. It's really nice.
All right, so here's the right side of the page in our matchups. And by the way, if you fill out your brackets, you have a chance of winning $500 for the Jersey Shore 64. So the Cape May Zoo went up against Waverly Surf Beach, and the Cape May Zoo came out victorious.
Animals.
Then we have the OD, the Ocean Drive, against Tomatoes Longport.
No, but Tomatoes in Margate.
It says Longport.
I know, but
here.
it's wrong.
Okay. Tomatoes Margate. The OD one. Come on. There you go. Yeah. Then you have the Point against Ventnor number 7311.
Yeah.
And the Point won that matchup.
Oh, nice.
All right, where's that at, Kath?
There's two. There's one in Summers Point, and then there's one in Sea Isle. This one was supposed to be the one in Summers Point.
Okay.
It's right on the bay, and outdoor tiki bar
You're
type
supposed
place.
to be the one.
All right. Then we have the Willow Creek.
I do the same thing.
Willow Creek.
We do the same thing.
It's the Willow Creek.
Willow Creek Winery.
I ride my bike all through the area, and I love riding through the vineyards of Willow Creek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is that located?
It's in Cape May, but
off the beach. You like inland a bit, yeah.
So you know where the new smoke shop is?
I
in
know
Cape
exactly where the new
It's right
smoke
near
shop
there.
is.
Yeah.
All right. It's across the street from the Honey Store.
Yeah.
All right. Then you have Marvis Diner
Wait,
going
hold on.
up against Willow Creek Winery.
Oh, sorry.
And so Willow Creek won that.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, here you go. Here's a pizza joint. Max Pizza against Sunset Pier Restaurant.
Okay.
We got a winner in the pizza zone.
Oh,
Yes.
Max
Well done.
Pizza moves onward.
Take that, Diane.
Then you have what? She's not a fan.
She's a Samsy.
Okay.
I'm a Maxi.
Who's blib, 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 blib.
That's Mac and
Manco's.
Manco, which is all. But Max
Is now Manco and Manco, right?
So
But
Manco
that
and
was on there.
Yeah. That's
we
still
haven't
on
gotten there yet.
Oh.
All right, so then we have Cape May Brewing against OC Music Pier, Ocean City Music Pier. Cape May Brewing won that.
No kidding.
I voted OC Music Pier.
It's a good music venue.
Yeah.
Hooters played there last year.
The Inlet against Twisties.
Oh, man. I want to go to Twisties based on Kathy's recommendation.
Is it an ice cream joint?
No.
No.
That's what I thought too, but it's the one. It's also it's a bar on the bay.
It's a it's the dive bar.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
It went up against the Inlet. What's the Inlet? Because I don't
know that one.
Inlet isn't that Wildwood? Yeah, it's Wildwood.
Yeah, it's right next to Keenan's.
North Wildwood.
Yeah.
It is?
Yes.
Well, it won.
Twisties.
It beat out Twisties. And speaking of Keenan's up against OC Surf School.
That's unfair.
That was unfair.
It was the seeding. Keenan's was like a number one seed up against OC Surf School.
Keenan's against the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Yeah, so Keenan's won that. I was telling Nick, what if Keenan's ends up winning this thing?
It'd be crazy, but you can't argue.
Well,
you
they're
know?
going up against their neighbors in the Thirsty 32. So by Keenan's winning and the Inlet winning, that they're facing off against each
They
other.
are facing
wow.
off against each other, yeah.
Ooh.
All right, so then we have Manco and Manco against Number One Tavern.
Ooh.
Yeah, right? Manco and Manco
Okay,
wins.
so now we got two pizzas.
We got two pizzas there, yeah.
And the two that split, it became their own.
Yes, because it used to be Mac and Manco's, and now you got Max Pizza and Manco and Manco. It could come down to that. I don't know, man. Then we have Cape May Lighthouse against Cape May Wicker.
Oh, wow.
I love both of those
tough.
places.
I'd go Lighthouse, though. It's just more
I'm going
iconic.
Wicker.
I would go Wicker.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I want.
I love lighthouses.
But
I love lamp.
listen, I have been to the Cape May Lighthouse, and I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it won.
Okay.
Yeah, so it moves on. Then you have 2 Mile Landing, which is a place that's not far from me and Casey.
I guess it's Lower Township, maybe.
Then Britain's Bakery going up against each other, and 2 Mile Landing won that one.
Wow.
That's all right. I'll still go to Britain's and get my apple fritters.
All right, then you have Seaport Pier facing off against Kiwi Boutique.
Oh, that's unfair, too.
Seaport Pier.
Yeah.
They won. We have just 4 more matchups, and then that will wrap it up. We had the Mad Batter against Ernest and Son.
I love Mad Batter.
What is it?
It's a restaurant, but it's also a great place to get brunch. They have really good drinks, good Bloody Marys.
Where?
Good.
In Cape May.
Okay.
Not too far from Congress Hall.
It's a good breakfast place, good like mimosa, Bloody Mary. They have a great bartender.
Hang for several hours after the first Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
And how about Ernest and Son?
I don't know that
That's
one.
a deli and brigantine.
Okay, well, it lost.
Oh.
Mad Batter won.
Nice.
Okay.
They've moved on. Then we have White House Subs.
Yeah, in Atlantic City, that is I think that's the most famous sandwich joint in all the beach towns.
I think that is, Steve, that's where they were filming the movie with
You're right.
Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, okay.
The other
Yes.
day.
Right, yes.
Yeah, and they were actually like getting pissed off about the fact that they were losing business while they were shooting a movie.
I mean, they opened.
I mean, like not angry, but like, come on, we got customers to serve here.
There's a White House Subs inside Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. I don't know if you guys have been there or not.
Is there one of those in D.C.? A White House?
There's a White House and a sub.
So, by the way, it went up against Pirate Island Mini Golf. That's in Ocean City, right?
There's a bunch of them.
Okay. Pirate Island Mini Golf won.
Whoa, all right.
Beat out White House Subs.
I do love mini golf.
The chains, the ones where there's multiple locations, they seem to be the ones winning.
Yes.
More exposure.
Then we have to figure out which one to broadcast from if they win. Or not us, Pierre will.
Yeah.
Then we have Mike's Seafood against Island Aqua Park. And the winner there was Mike's Seafood.
Hi, Mike.
Huh.
And then the last matchup in the Jersey Shore 64 is Washington Street Mall
Cape May, baby.
against Aussies.
What's Aussies?
Yeah, I don't know Aussies.
Well, it doesn't matter because they lost.
Okay.
Washington Street Mall, which is great.
I love it.
It's such a cool place to walk around. It's a shopping
An
district.
outdoor mall?
Yeah, but it's architecture and style is really quaint and really cool. And at night, it's all lit up. And in the wintertime, even, it's really cool to go walking through there because a lot of those places stay open in the winter.
Yeah, it's year round.
Yeah, it's a neat spot. So there you go. So we're now down to the Thirsty
Hey,
32.
how about that?
And you can now vote via WMMR.com. And we encourage that you do because we do have a $500 prize if somebody's going to win.
I wonder how many of these places have been campaigning or getting the word out to their clientele or people in the general area to support them.
Not sure. But it is powered by DHY Motorsports. So we encourage you to go and take a look and place your vote, if you would, please, for the next round. Casey, I have a question. I know we're scheduled
He's
to have
here.
Tony Hale is here.
Yeah, well, he is. He's walking in towards the building now.
All right, then we should take a break. So we will come back in a moment. We will get Tony Hale in our studio. When we return, he's going to be in Inside Out 2. I cannot wait for this movie. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was just going to make it. I thought he was just going to say that it was a joke, which it was, and and it was funny.
And then it's in your wallet.
This was in my wallet. I didn't do that.
Sure, you didn't.
One of you guys did it.
No.
One of you guys did it.
No.
One of you guys did it.
No.
I'll find out later.
That's magic, man. Wow. Don't if you upgrade to the premium package on Zoom, it comes with magic.
Is that what it comes with? If you look back to when test tube babies was a very controversial, idea, and there was all kinds of uproar against that type of thing, and now fertility stuff is commonplace. I mean, it's exactly
You
what
can
you
get
do.
powdered mix.
Yeah, to make babies.
Okay, can they extract semen out of a fully vasectomized nutsack? Can they do that?
Did you just whisper nutsack?
The question in front of the panel today is: can semen be fully extracted from a nutsack?
Excuse me, sir. We couldn't hear you.
What?
Sir? I said nutsack. Could you speak up, please?
Can semen be extracted from a fully?
But can it though? Or
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. So I have,
they say
I have my prostate is out and my seminal vesicles, I guess they're referred to, are
They ain't
removed.
there.
Right.
Mine are still there, right? So I've been vasectomized.
I believe you can still produce a little.
I can.
If you get the attachment.
So here's the deal. Like, they say that you can reverse a vasectomy.
Yes,
It's not
you can.
100%. It's not 100%, but they do, all they do is just, reattach or whatever.
Except it comes out your butt.
So what that tells me.
If you reverse it fully.
I guess my wife would be way less inclined to make a baby that way.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Science.
All right.
But
all right, back up to my vagina.
God.
Oh boy.
The
Case, it looks like
Sorry, I snorted.
it says you can withdraw sperm from the testicle, but I don't know if that's after the vasectomy.
It has to be, because if it can be reversed, it means I'm still making
So
it.
you're still making it, but your body absorbs it.
Right, because you've closed or the pathway.
Right.
You've closed the egress, as they say.
Right.
Right.
So if you had to bet on the male members of the Preston and Steve show conceiving a baby at this point, where would you put your money? Because Preston and Casey and I have all been had vasectomies.
I'd put my money on Steve.
Steve had prostate cancer and had his prostate removed. So, but
I don't understand your question.
If one of us were forced to have a baby, if we had to keep we had to keep like the population of the earth going.
I would do it.
I would love to have another baby.
Who would have the best
question.
chance? Even though
I was wondering, could you
scientists come to us.
Even though we've had a vasectomy.
Right, yeah. Where's the money on the male members of the Preston and Steve show producing another human being?
Without having a reversal done?
Yeah.
It has
None
happened.
of us, I guess.
But that's what I'm asking about, like with Casey's question. Like if we took the sperm out of the nutsack,
He's saying who's
the best chance?
Yeah.
Oh, who would be?
It wouldn't be Steve, right?
You guys are the same
Steve
age. I have
He doesn't
nothing.
have
His
anymore.
is different
I've got
than what
confetti in mine.
You guys can still produce it.
Yeah.
Your body's just
Okay.
absorbing it.
Okay, I don't know. That's why
So
I'm
you're
I know.
full
I've had
of
3
sperm,
kids.
Nick.
You've had 3 kids.
Yeah.
Me, so I'd put our money
I got
on
like
us
6 or
over
7
you.
that I don't know about.
Yeah. Wow.
Has Bill hung himself yet, by the way, with this conversation?
I don't know. Did you think about what you were talking about in the bathroom?
I did.
Okay. Casey and I had a conversation in the bathroom.
Did you?
He's like, I think I want to ask you something, but I don't know if I want to ask you on the air or not.
Was it about the Dunkachino machine?
No, I think we're good on that.
We just shot a video, Marissa and I. I sort of had to explain why it literally looks like I threw a grenade into the machine.
I saw it. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I ran into Andy in the kitchen, and she was like, I just saw the email that said it was all good to go. She goes, but what happened?
Anyway.
Is it all cleaned up, by the way? It's
I didn't do it. I tried. There were no paper towels. There was no
Casey keeps a stash of paper towels if you ever need them.
Yes,
and they have them in the bathroom, too. So
Yeah.
I'll grab those. Hold on. Marissa has an update, I guess.
I don't know if it's cleaned up, but it is fixed.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
Matt Calper swung by and
All right,
fixed it.
Oh, that was a fix.
Just call me Mr. Fix It.
I just thought you were just accentuating fixed, but that was a Matt
No
Cowper.
reason to stress out.
Yeah. So anyway.
okay. So this is a judgment call for everybody here. All right. So
if we don't want to talk about this, we'll move on to something
We can
else.
move on.
We decide
Move
this
on.
is not worth talking about.
Is it about food, pretzel-like food in Oregon?
It's not food.
He was wrestling with the idea of bringing it up or not. So
All right, go ahead.
So judgment call. So your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend is asleep. They're napping, right? And you have a hankering to go to Rita's Water Ice,
right?
And okay,
I know. Okay.
I know where you're going with this too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick question: did this happen to you, and did it cause a problem?
This happened to me, and I got the double middle finger.
Okay.
So I said spouse woke up.
I had a similar thing happen recently, so I can commiserate. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you wake your spouse up to see if they would like something from Rita's Water Ice?
As they are resting,
Yes.
as they are getting their much-deserved sleep, correct?
Yes. And you know this person.
I can
and
answer immediately when you're done.
You have woken said person up from a peaceful nap before, and it was never a good experience. So, so do you leave them asleep? Okay. So you have a couple options here. You leave them asleep,
right?
And you don't get them anything from Rita's because, for some reason,
do you touch their boobies?
Always. For some reason, if you go to any other store, you know exactly what to get them, right? You know how they like their stuff. But for some reason, you don't know what their go-to order at Rita's is.
Wait, you didn't get her anything?
I didn't get her anything.
May I ask you? May I ask you a question?
Yes.
While this debate was going on, did something in the back of your mind go, "She'll never know"?
There might have been that.
That's exactly what it was. You thought that if you ate it quickly enough, the remnants of it would be gone, and she would be none the wiser.
No
But
fuss,
you
no
do
muss.
know her. You could take it. I'm sure you would have gotten something that she liked.
There was a good chance
Don't come home with nothing.
There was a good chance that said nap could have turned into a full night's sleep.
Or
you could put it in the freezer.
Diane doesn't like it when Casey spends money on frivolous things, and she would have gotten mad that he spent money on them.
No,
my wife.
no.
Well, here's my situation. My wife will take 5-6 hour naps.
Yeah.
So I mean, she is, and I commend her for this.
Yes.
It happened over the weekend. It's the ice cream bakery on Ridge, and they have great soft ice cream. And so I'm like, I'm getting a damn cone as I pass by. There was not the traditional 80-car line going in, and I'm like, I'm going for it. But I call an audible.
Yeah.
And I bought her something, and it was a home run. I kind of knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do the gesture.
Yeah.
And that buys you. I gave it a shot.
Yeah, my wife just sent me a text. She goes, "You don't have to wake me up. Just buy me my favorite flavor." Now, I'm going to admit, I don't know what your favorite flavor is at name a store, and I can tell you what she gets from that store.
I believe that.
For some reason, Rita's, I'm like, I don't know what your favorite flavor is there.
Rita's is a sweet spot thing too. I mean, like that's a very specific. You're omitting somebody from you going there, right? So, and in my household, if I were to do that, that would be the end of the relationship. So I would, Casey, not wake her though. Right. I would take an educated guess and try and bring something home.
Yes, of course.
I did not do that, and I made a mistake.
Wow.
The educated guess with the purchase will buy you the insurance
At least
you
you
need.
tried.
Yeah, you tried, yeah.
You didn't even try. Sorry, Marissa.
No, I'm going to throw out this option. Just buy multiple very small ones, even if it's just 2. Say I tried to take a guess, and then if one of those happens to be your favorite flavor, Casey, then you win in the end because you get to enjoy it as well.
And also, the gesture.
My story is much more selfish. The Big Top Surfing Sundays came by our house.
Oh yeah.
And Rochelle was taking a nap, and I'm like, I'll just zip out and get a thing, and she'll be asleep, and
she'll never know.
She'll never know. And by the way, ice cream, I don't think keeps as well.
Right, I
in a
was just gonna
freezer
say,
as water ice might. So then maybe
Water
that's
ice
a little
definitely does
caveat.
not keep as well in the freezer. Not my freezer.
Well, you're right. If it stays in there too long, I don't like that frozen solid. Yeah,
It
I'm
becomes
not down
like
with
an
that.
ice cube.
Yes.
But in my mind, I was like, she'll never know. She'll never know. And then she knew. And then
And what happened?
She gave me the hard time. She's like, you went without me?
My freaking daughter dined me out, man. I was like, oh, dude. Yeah.
I do feel like though, like
the bond of trust has been broken.
Right? And I paid
I'm watching you.
Yeah.
because you know why? Because she probably understood. No, she understood because, and I hate to be like that person, but like a lot of guys are the same when it comes to things like this. Like it's just common sense. Like, why would you have not picked your wife up something? Even if it went in the freezer, even if it became a block of ice, she would have been like, oh, okay, well, he helped me out. It's not great, and I'll go get my own tomorrow or something like that. But like,
no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And my house is filled with people. And, I probably should have asked my mom if she wanted something, and I didn't. Me and Avery
just tell me?
Me and Avery just snuck out. And
oh my God.
I did ask my older daughter. Casey said no, she didn't want anything.
She was like, no, I'll just tell mom.
Yeah.
Hey, every now and then it's okay to do something for just you. All right, I'm gonna back you on this because I was thinking the same thing, man. If I got Rochelle, then I got to ask the kids, and then it's a whole big thing.
I don't have that.
And then I got to wait for these guys to all get their shoes on and come outside and get it. And by the time we get out there, it's gonna be a huge line.
Yes,
I could just zip in and zip right back out and get my little cone and eat it, and I'm a happy man.
May I suggest something though?
You probably shouldn't have had kids.
Right. the kids you can take off the list, but not the wife. You know what I'm saying?
No, you cannot take your kids off. Like, if
Absolutely.
you are going out to
You're
get
trying
ice
to
cream,
teach them to
a thing that a child would
don't
love.
eat that food. Eat vegetables.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go get ice cream, but you're gonna stay home, and I'm not gonna get any for you.
Well,
exactly.
I got the double middle finger last night. Okay,
That's pretty harsh.
well, I mean, she's
Jokingly.
jokingly, but
Right.
still there was intent, and so what I'm saying is,
Were your lips discolored from the Rita's water ice?
No,
Yeah, you got busted?
what are you talking about? Dude, I went,
Why are your lips blue?
I went with like flesh colored. I was like,
You got
she'll
lemon?
never know. I got lemon.
Do you have any flesh-colored ices?
By the way, my new favorite flavor is they have a Florida orange. They didn't have Florida orange last night, but they did have an orange cream. So I went lemon on top, orange cream on the bottom.
You thought about that? You thought about your mouth being discolored?
No, it's just my favorite flavor. The lemon is
That would be the best. So he's got these big, bright purple lips.
What are you talking about? No, it's just really cold.
No, I just miss Prince.
Listen, if you're going to give me the double middle finger, then you have to make sure that every time you get something somewhere, you either text me or surprise me with something, and that is never the case.
So I could have gotten the sundae that she likes, but I got the ribbon soft chocolate and vanilla ice cream, and I also. You do things to buy yourself a little insurance.
Yeah.
I got her a quart of it so that she could.
I failed.
Yeah.
I failed. I definitely failed. Okay, I failed. What's your flavor? What's your favorite flavor? I don't know what your favorite flavor is.
Did she ever tell you?
No, let's see if she.
You need to know now for your.
This is actively happening right now.
Yeah, it's
okay. He's checking his text messages.
It does not indicate. Now, what would I?
Do you guys all know Do you know your roster of favorite menu items for your significant other?
I mean, give me a store and I'll tell you.
When it comes to
well, I
desserts,
know something that I could get that she'd like.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know, maybe not her favorite, but yeah.
Right.
Like if,
no, just when it comes to desserts, I know my business. You know,
Okay,
like,
yeah, likewise.
that's important. And if I were to swing by an ice cream store and not get her something or a Rita's or whatever, I would know what to get. Yeah, like if I'm ordering takeout, it's more of a guessing game.
I'm actually my ability to call an audible is quite sensational.
On desserts,
And
or
now, mind you, I'm not dealing with kids. I'm dealing with one person I can focus in on.
yeah.
So with everything. However, we'll do this thing, and I'll be going out to get milk from the Wawa. So you want anything, and she'll look at me and she'll do this thing we do. She'll, why don't you surprise me?
Oh,
and I always nail it.
Steve, I could get you dessert.
Yes, you know.
You know what I mean? Like, if Steve was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take dessert," like I would know what to get him.
Right.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookies, brownies, dark
Chocolate
dark
ice cream.
chocolate.
Yes,
no
there you go.
whipped cream.
No whipped cream.
You can give me anything. I'll eat it.
Yeah, you're more of because you like to try stuff.
I like the sample.
But your favorite recent is the
pistachio is my favorite.
That's
flavor
now at the
of
top
ice
of the
cream.
list.
Yeah.
In fact, I bought some pistachio gelati.
Yeah.
Gelato, I guess I should say. Last night.
Dessert-wise, you know what's become a little bit overrated is that chocolate lava cake.
Oh, but it's so
Has
good.
become
Why is it overrated?
I was just talking to my wife. I said, is there any situation in which chocolate lava cake is not applicable?
You seen the movie Chef?
Yeah.
When he wigs out on the chocolate lava cake.
What is it? What's he say? Because it's in the middle.
It's a chocolate ganache. It's frozen.
Yeah.
It's frozen, and you cook it, and that's how it becomes molten in the middle. He's just this critic doesn't understand how it's made, and he's just wigging out, and he's like, "There's more to it than you think." But yeah, chocolate lava.
A lot of places won't let you do takeout chocolate
lava cake.
Because it's not going to port well.
Yeah. Right. I can't turn away a bread pudding if I'm out to dinner and that is on the dessert menu. I have to.
So the Desmond.
33 WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next guest is in the studio to promote Inside Out 2, which is in theaters next Friday. I am so excited. It is one of the greatest animated films the first movie I have ever seen, and I know that they're going to do just as good of a job with this one. And our guest who is here is going to be voicing Fear, but his credits are a mountain of different titles. I'm only going to give you a couple just to refresh. Arrested Development, VEEP, and Toy Story 4 brought us the legendary voice of Forky and got to throw out the first pitch at the Phillies game yesterday. Tony Hale is here.
Thank you. Kathy, your traffic report was really impressive. It makes me want to go on the road just because of what you said.
Well, thank you.
That was really impressive.
You know, Kevin Costner had the opposite. He said it sounded like a war out there that he wanted to avoid. Yeah,
I like to put a positive spin on it.
Tony, I led with the fact that Inside Out, that movie has, and it carries emotional weight because it's about emotions, but it is done so
well,
perfectly.
I know. I've said this a couple times, but it wasn't just my favorite animated movie. It's like one of my favorite films of all time. Inside Out. Because the way Pixar has orchestrated the emotional life and made it accessible, because it's obviously a very complex issue, it's just mind-blowing. And just not for kids, for parents and adults, you know?
So we had Pete Docter in the studio a few years ago.
Did?
For Zootopia. Yeah. And we gushed about Inside Out while he was here, and we just couldn't help compliment the writing is so clever and so... just as a small example, when anger takes over and pretends to be joy, it manifests as sarcasm. How brilliant is that?
Yeah. It's so brilliant. And in this movie, there's an actual sarcasm that shows up, and then somebody.
So good.
I remember what they said. They said somebody goes like, "I need your," or they seem like, "I need your help," or something like that, and then it's heard like, "I need your help," or something. Like it's totally misinterpreted because when teenage years, the brain obviously goes a little wacky.
Yeah,
and just things like that is just brilliant that Pixar is bringing to the table.
I wonder if this, especially because of that, because of the brilliance of helping people visualize that, how often Inside Out gets trotted out for psych classes in colleges, right?
Totally.
So are there new new emotions that we're going to see?
Yes. So that's this is why I needed this movie about 4 years ago when my daughter was a teenager. But it's like there was already fear, disgust, joy, and sadness, and now they've got anxiety, ennui,
embarrassment,
and I'm a blanket, envy. Okay. And it's just, and ennui is like boredom. She's French, and she sits around, she's lazy. It's just great. Yes.
My son was 9 when the first one came out, and I was freshly divorced. And now my son is 17 when this one's coming out. And so I'm so excited to see it with him twice. See the first one and compare the emotions of a 9-year-old versus the emotions of a 17-year-old boy, which, by the way, are so freaking complex. I never understand what he's thinking.
So complex, but this is what's exciting to me is, I mean, obviously for parents, I would have liked it to have been like, oh, well, this is a natural part of the process. But a teenager sees it and goes, oh, I'm not a freak. Like, because when I was a teenager, I was like, am I the only one who's feeling this? Am I the only one that's overwhelmed? It's like, no, everybody's experiencing this, you know?
So with the complexity of this, you as the voice actor, direction had to have been key on this for you to get just the right tones.
Yeah, I do have a lot of experience with fear. I got a lot of layers to work from. But what's wild is it is very specific because we don't record together. None of the cast are ever together recording.
That's always a bit of a letdown to hear that.
We also don't like each other. But we're never in the same room, and so that director has to play every character against us to get the right, rhythms.
Wow.
So how has fear evolved in this one?
Okay, so fear. Well, the distinction when I first came in, I was like, because as a person who struggled with anxiety in my life, I was like, so what do you guys see as the difference between fear and anxiety? If you're bringing anxiety into the game. And they always said fear reacts off an actual threat. Anxiety is a perceived threat.
Yeah.
So it's like anxiety, and I relate to that. Like fear is like that kind of like what's actually coming at you, and fear is like all the what ifs, all the scenarios that we kids and adults always create. Like, what if this happens, and just everything to And the thing that is beautiful that I love about this movie is you see these emotions trying to help you. They're not against you, because many times I'm like, no, don't feel that, don't feel that. It's like, no, they're trying to help you. You just kind of have to learn how to have a little more compassion.
It's interesting you say that because I've said many times, as you know, and big proponent of therapy and talking to other people, and using that as a gift, giving yourself permission to feel those things is an essential part of evolving.
Yeah,
and the original, I'm sure this will do it as well. When it gives you that understanding, then it becomes another arrow in your quiver.
Totally, and it's just so smart what Pixar does, because obviously the 4 emotions, when the new ones come in, they literally bottle us up. They put the 4 ones into a bottle. And then as an adult, you think, oh, many times anxiety, all those are kind of covering up the core ones that I'm actually just sad, or I'm actually just afraid.
Yeah.
You know?
Kathy had pointed out, you brought up something I hadn't thought of how fear might evolve as one goes into the teenage years, because a lot of times we see teenagers as fearless.
Yeah.
And that some of the things that may have held them back in the past they're kind of numb to now.
Oh, totally. And it's I just love the communal gift that Pixar is giving to these teenagers, because there's literally a demolition that happens where the core emotions are there, and then like construction workers come in and do a demolition when puberty hits and everything goes awry.
Wow.
And that's what teenagers are feeling. It's like, what's happening to my body? And it's like, oh, I'm not the only one that's happening.
It's a Chernobyl level experience.
Totally.
I wanted to ask you, reading about you, and you're talking about anxiousness and dealing with anxiety. And I'd read that you, your hands would shake. You said your hands would shake quite a lot.
Yeah.
And that you would use different, when you were anxious or nervous.
Yeah.
And you had to, especially for stage. Yeah. You had to devise ways to sort of hide that. Can you illuminate us on some of that?
Of course. I love talking about my trauma. No, I was doing a play like 3 years ago now. It was a one-man play until like the last 15 minutes where somebody came in. So it was just me for like 45 minutes on stage. And every time before I was about to go on stage, I was thinking, oh, this is the night I have a panic attack in front of 1,000 people. Like, this is the night everything goes blank. And this therapist would tell me that when that voice, that fear or the anxiety comes up, begin to thank it. Rather than like, no, I'm good. It's like, so what I started doing is I started turning to, whatever this voice or this thought, and I'd say, hey, I appreciate you being here. I know you're trying to help. I'm going to do the show, but thanks so much for being here.
Wow.
And it just lessened that power.
Speaking of anxiety, and I had mentioned the first pitch last night. You're talking about 38,000 people in the game last night. And you're a seasoned actor.
I thought you were about to say baseball player. And I'm like, nope.
Performing in front of people. But that is a nerve-wracking scenario.
Yes.
And did they give you advice, Nick? Is it if you throw high, they go? Wait, if you throw low, they go ooh. Right. If you throw high, they go boo.
Yes, but you always want to try to throw high because if you throw low, you're going to throw right into the dirt.
Okay. Yeah.
And I did that in Dallas. Before this, I was at the Texas Rangers, and it went to the dirt. And then last night, it didn't go straight. It went to look to the side, but at least it went a little high.
All right. So success.
You had an
I think it was a success.
Before we were talking about the different stadium experience, and please relay what you told, because I'm sure many Philadelphians will go, damn right.
No, Dallas, they have a stunning new stadium. It's very, very cool. When I came here, Philly, you could really feel the history of the place. And I think you mentioned it has a small town feel, even though it's a big city. And there was just and Dallas had it too, but there was just kind of this joy about Philly that I was really surprised by and I loved.
Yeah. Well, speaking of joy, and just a question about Inside Out too, in the evolution of emotions. Anxiety and depression are mental states, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas sadness and the feeling of anxiousness or anxiety, that feeling, those are emotions. Does Inside Out 2 distinguish between emotions and mental states?
I think that's a great question. You know what they brought? There was this, I don't know if you guys have heard of this book called Untangled.
Yes. Yeah.
Written by Lisa DeMore. They brought her in as a consultant for the entire process. Wow. And really dove into those things. And it's just, there's so many, I can't wait for you guys to see it, because there's so many ways that they bring very, very intelligent, high thinking into these creative, like the sarcasm or something like that, to your point of just kind of bringing, there's something called the sense of self that she has that is like, I'm a good person or whatever, and anxiety begins to tweak that sense of self. And it's like, if I get this goal right, someone's going to like me. And all these little ways that they start to tweak it. So she was a part of that whole process.
It's interesting because I think we're led to believe that at a certain point we're going to have it. We got it now.
Oh, yeah.
And that it's not this thing that you're always cultivating throughout your life.
Yeah.
And that you're always in an effort to evolve and understand yourself.
Sure.
And so I think the amount of good these movies do. Your own daughter's what, 18?
She's 18.
Okay, so and I assume she's seen it, correct?
She rarely sees my work, but she has. She will see this.
And what was her take? I'd be curious because
she saw. She saw the first Inside Out, and then she's going to be coming to the premiere on Monday.
Okay.
So everything else, she's like, whatever. Like, I don't think she's seen Arrested Development or. I mean, by the way, I played like a man child on that show, so that was probably disturbing for her.
If you're just tuning in, it's Tony Hale talking about Inside Out 2 in theaters next Friday, June 14th, and he plays the role of Fear. Now, so there was a couple of casting changes for this film.
Yeah.
Bill Hader originally did Fear. Mindy Kaling was discussed, now played by Liza Lapira. Just not available, Bill, or what was the story on the switch?
I know I don't really know much about that, like why, but when I've been asked about this, because they say, well, how is that? And I'm like, you don't match Bill Hader. Like he's like he's a genius. The guy is like a master at what he does. I I came in, I was like, I got a lot of flavors of fear myself. So I'll just
Who's the
I'll bring
most
my own
wounded?
into it.
Who do we know who's very wounded?
Exactly. Like, you don't do this good. Tony Hale.
We need emotional scars. Tony Hale.
Exactly.
You're right.
We got our guy.
Buster is
please. Talk about layers
yes,
and layers.
exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, and I forget, is Bing Bong gone?
Bing Bong, Bing Bong, I don't know if you saw he kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I mean, I've seen this, so I don't know what they
Maybe he can come back.
He comes back as residuals.
See, Kathy.
He's always in the ether.
See, Richard Kind and Kathy went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he seems like such a lovable man.
He is wonderful.
That
We've had him on a
scene
few
where
times.
he just fades off and inside out.
Heartbreaking. Oh, man.
There are people I've seen, people who are not prepared.
Yeah.
And step back a bit. Any of those great movies, always they have an element of loss, an element of something to overcome.
Sure.
That in particular just left sucker punches an audience. And I've seen people just driven to their knees watching that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Are you talking about me? Because I was bawling. Yeah.
So you mentioned Buster in Arrested Development. And, I wanted to ask you about working with Jessica Walter because she's a genius.
Yeah.
And her subtle acting floored me. And your dynamic with her, especially on Arrested Development, was just so good. What was it like for you working with her? And do you have any lasting memories?
Yeah. Oh, man. So many lasting memories. Her timing was unmatched. Like she was one of those people. There was this scene with her that so depicted codependency, where she's on house arrest,
cigarette,
and the cigarette,
Yes.
and she wants to smoke, and so she takes me, her codependent son, and inhales the smoke out of her mouth like a baby bird, and then exhales it on the balcony, and then I have to run back and forth for every puff, and I was like, oh, this is another level of dysfunction.
And you're saying, I don't know if I can do this because I'm going to.
I know. I was like, I actually have asthma. I'm like, can we just not keep doing this? But she really was incredible. And then, I get to work with people like Liza Minnelli, who is just like such a force, and got to kiss Liza Minnelli. So.
It's amazing. Well, talk about Jessica. A lot of people don't remember. She played one of the first absolute psychos. Clint Eastwood's Play Misty for Me.
Oh, yeah.
She is terrifying.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And there were moments where I was like, she scared me.
Speaking of Buster, did you get to keep the hook, his hook hand or the robot hand or anything?
I've been asked that. And it was so hot wearing that hook. I never kept it, but I do remember the last season, for those of you who didn't watch the show, my hand was eaten off by a seal, FYI. And they would come, the props department would come in and switch out my hand for for like a different attachment. And there was one time I turned to the props guy and I said, why am I wearing this one? And he goes, I don't know, man, just go with it. Like none of us really knew what was going on.
Well, to that point, the show was, of course, brilliant, and it was one of those things. It was like everyone was watching it, saying, "I hope it stays," and Fox never quite seemed to know what to do with it.
Sure.
It had its various, like it rose from the flames. But was there at that point when you're on a show like that? Does anything they throw at you ever shock you?
No.
Yeah.
No. But that's what was the exciting part. And I would even say VEEP too, because every time I got a new script, the surprise element, because many times in comedy there was like, oh, this is probably going to happen, or even drama like this is going to happen. It's kind of expected. I never expected. I do remember the day I went up to Mitch and I said, "Oh, I'm thinking, would it be fun if like Buster was on like Dancing with the Stars or something?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna have a seal eat off your hand." And I was like, "Wow, that's better.
That's better."
Tony, I remember watching and enjoying Arrested Development when it came out, and then for me it was also pandemic viewing, like when you're sitting at home and figuring out what to do. And it occurred to me while watching it again the second or third time through that. Without Arrested Development, we wouldn't have had The Office. We wouldn't have had Parks and Rec. It really led to those shows. Yeah. And then the Russo brothers were a huge part of Arrested Development. And they ended up obviously being, a huge in the Marvel world.
Huge in the Marvel world. But you see it, I don't know if you knew this, in their movies, they always have some kind of Arrested reference in the Avengers.
Didn't know that.
The stair car is in one of them.
Wow.
You see a picture of, I think, Tobias somewhere. They always did little
Easter eggs.
Civil War.
Easter eggs.
Civil War has the plane.
Yeah. And it's little Easter eggs of Arrested in each of their
Oh,
movies.
that's hilarious.
And they to your question about like the comedy, it was really I had such admiration for Mitch Hurwitz who created it, because at the time, people really didn't think about comedy. It was more of just kind of fed to them, whereas dramas, you really had to pay attention. He was one of the first people who had so many layers, and it was so dense to the story that you would miss it. And that's why it got popular on Netflix, because people could take the time to look back and find the hidden jokes, you know?
With Veep, and you obviously had another great ensemble, you know, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's also, you want to talk about a subtle, you know,
my gosh,
missile for that stuff. The word was that you would break up a lot.
Oh, I would break all the time because I was the closest to her, and so I heard the subtleties, and I was like, come on, you can't expect me to keep this together. And then she said, one time I laughed so hard, she turned to me and she says, Tony, you know you're not watching the show, you're in the show. And I think I said, yeah, but it's a funny show. Give me a break.
Did you have a bit of a crush on Anna Klumsky? Because anyone,
my girl.
Yeah, my girl.
You know, it was really fun to talk to her, just like her stories. I mean, she obviously grew up in Hollywood, but anytime I get to meet those people, I'm just like, tell me about your life. I remember working with Liza on Arrested, and we went out to lunch, and I was like, just tell me about, and she was raised on the MGM lot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, like she just had such a colorful experience in her life, and I was just like, keep talking. She was in the middle of smoking. She was just like, well, honey.
Was she? She seemed. A lot of people don't remember how great she was, like an Arthur, and things that were not classically Liza Minnelli roles.
Yes.
That she had that ability and that sense of humor.
She did, and she was very free. My wife and I went to go see her in concert, and also the vulnerability she brought on stage was the same vulnerability her mother brought on stage. And it was just, she just drew people in. But there was one time where she did a backwards, like somersault or something. She had vertigo, her character had vertigo, and she fell backwards, and we were all like, and she just popped right back up because she had her little, dance clothes on.
That's wild.
Tony, going back to Inside Out 2, you had mentioned that the cast is never together when you guys are performing your roles. You're doing the press now, obviously, for this. Have you had a chance now to meet up with the other cast members, been in the same room together, spend some time together?
Yeah, this weekend, I'm going to meet, I've known Amy for a while, and then I'm going to get to meet Lewis Black, who I've never met. And just like Maya Hawke, I've never met. I know Paul Walter Hauser. So different gigs, we know each other. But when I did Toy Story, I was brought in as Forky, and then I record, and then I'm on press, I'm like, talking to Keanu Reeves and like Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, and we're in the same movie, but I don't know. We're just like talking about our day.
That's got to be weird because again, you're dealing with a process that's for 4 years can be.
Sure.
Yeah, and so there's this. It's almost, out of sight, out of mind.
Totally.
And then you re-pick it up, and it's this completed thing, and everyone's looking at each other.
And we are what I do love to say is that, the voice acting, we are a very small slice of this pie. Most of the pie is these animators, these artists who have worked on this movie for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that deserve the spotlight.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up Forky because he was great in Toy Story 4, but the minis, the shorts on Disney Plus, where Forky asks a question, I laugh out loud every single one of them. The voice acting that you bring to it, but also the guy that goes, Forky asks a question. I don't even know who that guy is.
That's Bob Peterson who directed them.
Oh my God.
Yes. And Forky I just love that Forky's just always curious.
Yes. So innocent and kind of dumb.
Oh, I would kind of.
He is an aberration.
His best friend, I think, was a coffee cup at one point in those things.
In any of those, did you get to interact with like Mel Brooks or because
no,
there's some comedic legends in a few
there
of those.
Are like one of them was with Cheryl Burnett or something.
Yeah.
And just those were legends. I want to say like some of them have passed.
Carl Reiner, I believe, was in it. He passed. Yeah.
My son was a little bit older when Toy Story 4 came out, and he got so back into it because of Forky. And like we had I forget where we were, but it was like a giveaway, and you could put Forky together. And like it was cool though to see him laugh though and kind of get some of the Forky jokes.
How old is your son now?
He's 12 now.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's really fun when if their kid's a Forky fan, I'll do a voice memo from Forky.
Oh my God.
And I'll say, hey, this is Forky from Toy Story. I heard you're a great kid and all this kind of stuff. And then they'll sometimes send me a video of them playing it for the kid, and they're like, hold on. How did you meet Forky? And Forky said my name. So sweet.
Those writers and all of you are imbued with this sort of ability to re-tap into your childhood, because the notion of Forky, of that toy that you sort of jerry rig into this thing that becomes the most important thing to you. So let me ask you, what would have been the thing that would have driven a younger Tony Hale into the most terrified state? What frightened you?
Gosh. We are getting into trauma. I can say what frightens me now. Heights. We went up this elevator. We're staying at the this hotel here. It is so high up.
Fast elevator too, right?
Yeah, fast. And you see out, and I'm like, I'm going in a state of paralysis going to my hotel room.
It's a beautiful hotel.
It's stunning.
Yes. And all the cable you can use.
Such great Wi-Fi. But I was the kid. I was an asthmatic kid, and it was like I would go. I think it's funny that I threw the baseball. Sports, like any PE, was really scary for me.
So you'd be terrified, like when teams were being picked.
Teams were being picked,
Oh.
and I was if I get an asthma attack, all that kind of stuff. So that's like even though I loved it, throwing that pitch, it's amazing. Those middle school feelings come up. I was like, oh god,
yeah.
So I did have my inhaler in my pocket.
I don't think physical education should exist in high schools anymore because, like,
at least those shorts shouldn't exist that they put us in.
But honestly,
they did away with the showering.
The parents are doing what they're doing, for the kids between 0 and 13 years old. At that point, they know if they're athletically inclined, and if they don't want to participate, they shouldn't have to. It's
also don't give them a test.
Yeah.
Let's not give them a physical education test.
Right.
Oh, who's going to climb up the rope the longest? Not me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Because I'm probably allergic to the dust on the rope.
You mentioned your daughter's 18. She graduated this year?
She graduated this year, this past May.
Oh. Is she your only? Or
She's our only.
Oh, my goodness.
So she's going to college in the fall. She's going to be studying elementary education. That's what she wants to study.
No kidding. Not acting in the future?
No. There was a little bit of a subtext of me going like, you're not going to say this. No, she does like to perform. She just wasn't naturally just that kind of interested in it.
Okay.
She always loved working. Like when we go to church, she loved working the daycare. And she loved it.
Had it been the case.
Oh, that's her right there. Yeah.
Had it been the case that she wanted to pursue that, I mean, obviously, as a parent, you want to encourage kids what they're interested in, but you also know how tough the business is.
I do. And the part, even though, I mean, I'm so grateful and it's kind of made me who I am, it's the rejection that you really are signing up for a career of rejection. Because when you get work, it's kind of like a little bit of a vacation. Because most of it, when you're starting out, is like just constantly putting yourself out and people saying to you, you're not right for us. Like, we don't want you. Even though it's really typically not about you, it feels like, oh no, we don't like you.
Is that a character builder, or is it, or in other words, experiencing imposter syndrome, or all those things? They say, well, it'll help develop that blister that you're going to need to.
I definitely, like when you walk in a room and you see like 50 guys who look and act exactly like you, and you're like, I always tell actors starting out, I say, please invest in your community before you invest in your career. Because it's your community that's going to give you longevity, because those are going to be the ones that see you beyond what the industry sees you. And that's what's definitely true for me.
We're going through this right now. My daughter, same thing, just graduated high school, is going to college to study theater and acting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so she's going to Samford. Have you ever heard of that? I'm kidding. That's where you went.
I was about to say, you are kidding me. But, dude, did you do your research? I went there.
With it. He bought it.
I totally bought it. But what's funny is some people will always say to me, you went to Stanford? And I'm like, no, let's take away the T.
I went to Yale.
Exactly. They have a T-shirt. They have a T-shirt at the college that says "Sam, not Stan."
Okay. But it's the same thing. But even going through the process of applying and auditioning for schools, she's listen, she has success. She's going somewhere. She got into a program, but a lot of people said no. You know what I mean?
It's really hard. And the thing is, what I love about her going to school, because I think college is so much more than just grabbing information about your career. Learning independence, having all of the opportunities she's going to have to act, to be in front of a camera, to be on stage. Because once you get into your career, those opportunities don't come up as much. But you've got all those resources, everybody asking to be in their plays and their films all the time.
Right.
That does not happen when you get in the real world.
Right.
You know?
I wanted to ask you about voice acting, Tony, because Will Arnett has such like a resonant and the Batman Lego movies and everything.
Sure.
Do you ever talk about that, the craft of it? Because it is different.
I always told him, I was like, Will, anytime I'm with you, I sound like one of my dog's squeaky toys.
with that resonant voice.
It's just this bass.
Yeah.
And then what I love. I think there was a scene in Arrested where he's having dinner with Liza Minnelli, and he's reading the menu, and she's just like, "Keep going."
You said you felt one of the interviews I read with you. You said you felt he was the funniest of the Arrested cast, and that's saying something with that cast.
He just had you loved him, but he was such a douchebag.
Well, how so?
Not in person. Okay. And I'm like, Will's like, Tony, why are you calling me a douchebag? No, Job he had a vulnerability, but just so arrogant and so detached, thinking that he was the best magician in the world, and he was the worst.
David Cross, who's
he's another one. Like. It's hard to say what was the funny because David Cross, when he would show up as Miss Featherbottom, which was like, Mrs. Doubtfire, and then he was like, he thought the Blue Man Group was a support group for depressed men.
You had a story, if you could tell it, about the kind of friendship you have, and you always have this kind of friend you can do this with. He comes in and he was talking to a painting. Can you describe?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I just did Sketchfest in San Francisco, where they bring a lot of comics and we do sketches and stuff. And I hadn't seen David in a while. Anyways, I go in, I'm checking in, and David walks by me and sees me, and I go, David. And he looks at me and then walks past me and starts talking to the painting next to me. And I was like, oh, funny bit, ha, 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 ha. Turns around, walks past me and up to his hotel room.
Never
does not even acknowledge me. I haven't seen him in years. And I'm like, what's happening? And then the hotel clerk was even like, well, that's Cross.
Did you ever get a chance to ask him about that?
Well,
moment?
I did his podcast right after that, and I told him. He was like, yeah, that was fun, right?
Oh, my God. Committed to the bit.
He did.
That's commitment, yeah.
Wow, excellent. Well, we are, to say the least, extremely excited about this movie.
Yeah, me
out.
too.
It's the first one is so... It's so dear to me, and I cannot wait to see
it's
this.
Good for good for your soul.
It is.
It
You
really
guys
is.
are going to love it. And I really hope people walk away with a message of like, let's have a little more compassion on our emotions.
Yeah.
Let's not beat ourselves up so much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great message to take away.
Yeah.
I think you're going to save people a lot of the worry lines.
Yeah, totally.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Tony, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for taking the time
So great
to come
meeting
by
you
here.
guys.
Absolutely. Inside Out 2 in theaters next Friday, June 14th, starring Tony Hale. Thank you for being here. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
I love it. It's one Philly's best for their bread pudding, and it is sensational. I know a little bit of the secret of their bread pudding.
Oh,
hot dog rolls.
Hot dog rolls. You know what else? Those Hawaiian rolls.
Yes,
King's Hawaiian. Those ones are really good.
Yep.
And the best dessert I've had in the last couple of years is actually they have
any dessert you don't have to get for your wife.
That one.
All right, I have an actual Kardashian roundup.
Oh, all right.
Hang on a second. Like 3 Kardashian stories here. So.
Think of it as one group flush.
Okay, Kardashian roundup. Here we go.
All right, we're going to round them up for you.
I'm Robert Mitchum, and this is Kardashian Roundup.
Kim shared an amazing throwback video featuring her, Khloe, and Kourtney auditioning for Star Search.
Oh, it was amazing.
Did you see it?
I didn't.
I've not seen it.
Okay, for what, spokesmodel?
They lip-synced Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now while wearing matching metallic outfits chosen by Kris Jenner.
Not much has changed because they're still pretending to have talent.
And they were little kids when they did this.
Oh, okay.
She wrote on Instagram, our Star Search audition. Clearly, we didn't get 4 stars, but Kris Jenner did for our outfits. The family matriarch commented on the post and wrote, those were the days when I got to dress you guys. I knew I should have been a stylist.
I thought, seeing this video that we're watching, I thought that was Ed McMahon, but it was Khloe.
Speaking of Khloe, she celebrated hitting a social media milestone yesterday, or on Wednesday. She added a photo of herself topless.
What?
In honor of her 178 million Instagram followers.
Okay.
Is that a milestone, 178 million?
No, it's just a reason to drop your top.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right? That was just the excuse for the photo.
It's kind of an arbitrary number, isn't it?
It's not topless.
Yeah, in the photo, well, her hair is covering her
It is
boobs.
topless.
She's not wearing a top, but her top is covered.
Yeah.
I think is what Casey
She is sans top.
With
She is
fake
topless,
hair.
but
And
her boobs aren't out.
It's covered with fake hair.
Man, I'm looking at these pictures. They just don't look real.
It's so
don't look real.
And I do not find this cosmetic surgery look in any way attractive.
Yeah.
I think there are a group of people that do, though.
They do, yes.
And I think it's people who all get plastic surgery and I guess understand it or understand why she wants to get it.
Yeah, body dysmorphia group.
Whatever that commercial is, Steve, that we see on TV with her in it, like she looks like she can't even really move.
You're eating cockroach.
You what?
I hear my daughter eating popcorn.
You're here with your daughter eating popcorn.
Yeah. And like it just looks so awkward. Like she's like hugging and playing with her daughter, but it's like her face.
Don't touch the face!
Yeah, her face doesn't move.
Don't touch the face!
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Wait, excuse me, Chloe. You got a little schmutz here on
Don't
you.
touch! Don't touch! Let it fall off. Let it dry up and fall off.
Don't touch. Don't touch. It might cave in.
Don't touch! Don't touch! Close the windows.
Close the window.
Mommy, you got a little something on your lip.
No! No! What did I tell you? Don't touch mommy's face. Don't touch mommy's face. Don't touch mommy's face.
In the photo, Chloe is.
Don't even look at mommy's face. I don't know, the eye beams or something. I don't know.
Eye beams?
I don't know. Maybe there's radiation. I don't know. I'm not willing to take the risk.
I want to remind you that our Love You Help You line is available for your convenience should you be looking to, if you're looking to get a little boost to a business. It's something we've still, we're continuing, even though things have gotten a little bit more back to normal. But they're going back as well, you know.
There's a big conundrum out there, and if I can take this opportunity, Preston, just to give you an idea of what we're looking for, what people are looking for, our friend JP, who used to own the Ugly Moose in Manioc, now owns a place called the Bagataway Tavern in Conshohocken. Listen to what he's looking for. He needs a GM, kitchen manager, servers, bartenders, barbacks, experienced chefs. He's a great guy, great boss, and all those positions are available, and he needs help. He said he's finding it hard, to keep things running. Right. And that's the issue. So if you're looking for work, time has never been better. He actually says you can call him on his phone, his actual phone, which is 484-988-0942. The great place in Conshohocken. But again, if you have a business and you're looking for assistance, anything to help you get up and running. As you said, President, it's eased up a little bit, and hopefully we keep going in a good direction.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, it's wanted signs all over the place.
Wait, did he buy that from the owners, or was he always the owner?
He was always
of
a
that?
co-owner, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's always been associated with that. The Ugly Moose sadly no longer exists.
Yeah, that was a great place.
It was great.
I
We
loved it there.
It was a cool place.
Yeah.
Let's try and forget about the moose for a moment.
Forget about the moose.
We need.
Why don't you forget the moose?
Ugly Moose! Ugly Moose!
I really enjoy the intro to the moose clip.
All the mooses are waiting for you.
Which button was that?
It was pink then green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you forget the moose?
That's
for a moment. Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
We need that needs to be a set clip.
That's great.
Yep, we'll have to do that.
Man, this is one of the best shows we've ever had.
Isn't it though? A moose charged a runner.
Again!
Did you not?
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
A moose charged a runner and left him with a hoof print shaped cut on the back of his head.
Oh, that's awful. But
Colorado officials
That's just something to remember me by.
Yeah. The New Mexico man was running on a trail with his two dogs Wednesday when they encountered a moose.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
The runner was on a trail. The dogs were off leash about 50 feet in front of the man during the run. They suddenly bolted back toward the man. He stopped and saw the bull moose at about 50 feet. At that point, the dogs ran past him and left the scene. Yeah, they're out, dude.
Yeah.
They're checking out.
You had a story, was it earlier this week or last week, about a woman being, stomped?
Yep, exactly. The man took 2 steps towards the moose to see it better, and that caused it to charge towards the man.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
The moose attacked the runner, giving him minor injuries, and he was taken to the hospital and released the same day. The sheriff said he was very lucky that his only injury is a hoof print shaped laceration on the back of his head.
You bet your ass.
Moose attacks in Colorado are increasing. They are protective animals and will defend their territory and young. Now, I had a moose question earlier this morning, trivia question for the Super Question, and did not know that they're solitary, so they do not have herds of moose.
That's why a lot of them are writers.
They live a lonely existence. And once,
that's sad.
Once their offspring are about 18 months old, the cow, the mom, will shun them, like push them away. Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
That's essentially what they do, and then they just kind of roam all alone.
Maybe they're happy, Kath. How do you know?
They are happy.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, could be happy alone. I don't know. It just seems sad to not have any family or friends.
All right, how about this?
Poor things.
Police.
One is the loneliest number that you ever moosed.
So we'll go through some stories here for you, starting with Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum. They are officially a couple.
Yeah!
Us Weekly has confirmed it. This comes after weeks of rumors. A source exclusively tells us of the actors Channing and Zoe are dating. They connected while working on their upcoming film, Pussy Island.
Pussy Island.
Yes.
Yes. Which is, we have yet to determine what Pussy Island is about.
Nope.
We assume it's an island that looks like a large vagina.
No, it might be cats.
Oh, that's true. Yes, cats, of course.
Oh.
So this is perfect timing because just by happenstance over the weekend, I watched the second Magic Mike movie. And Nick, you said you saw that.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't quite get it, but and I'm not sure what exactly I watched. I felt like I went to the whole movie is basically a male dance review.
You're not sure if it's a movie.
It seems like there's really nothing there.
Yeah.
Other
There's
than
no story. It's just the show.
a lot of sitting around talking, and then a lot of pelvic thrusting into women's faces, and big presentations. And I can't say that I hated it.
I went with two women, and they loved it. So we all left the theater in a good mood because they were in a great mood. So why not? A little eye candy.
There's stuff, Nick, and you'll agree to this, that Channing Tatum does to these women, like Preston standing on the chair, thrusting, flipping around. You would F someone in half if that's the way you approach sex.
Speaking of Channing Tatum, totally different than the movie. What was it that you just mentioned? Magic Mike 2.
Yes.
My daughter turned me on to a movie that Channing Tatum is in, and it's called The Book of Life. I had never seen it. It's an animated movie, and it's great. And he voices one of the main characters.
He's really talented. He's good.
Guillermo del Toro produced it, and it's really, really well done, but I had never seen it. It's no Pussy Island.
I was so intrigued by Pussy Island. If anyone has any idea what it's about.
It might be cats, man. 'Cause you know, some of those island nations. Remember when we were on Anguilla or St. Martin? It was overrun with cats.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. So it very well could be that. I don't know.
Yeah, when I was in St. Lucia,
near the Butthole Islands,
they had these little. I mean, at the resort that we were at, they had a bunch of different
Butthole
restaurants. A bunch of different restaurants, and there were definitely cats at the restaurants.
Yeah.
You know, not our maitre d's.
No,
but,
Case, for the longest time, so you're familiar with Dirty Dancing, obviously, the Catskills. If you ever went up to a resort in upstate New York, around the restaurant, in the actual place where you were eating, cats were walking because they were there to take care of the mice problem.
Yeah,
and so
I'd rather have cats than mice and rats.
Here's the conceit of Pussy Island. Frida, who is Kravitz, is a young, clever Los Angeles cocktail waitress who has her eyes set on the prize, philanthropist and tech mogul Slater King, who's Channing Tatum.
Slater King, that sounds like a name.
When she skillfully maneuvers her way into King's inner circle and ultimately an intimate gathering on this private island, she is ready for a journey of a lifetime. Despite the epic setting, beautiful people, ever-flowing champagne, and late-night dance parties, Frida can sense that there's more to this island than meets the eye, something she can't quite put her finger on.
On. Steve.
I can't put my finger in it.
On it.
Oh, on it.
On it.
You still have it wrong.
But it says it's something terrifying.
I'm sure it is.
Those are the last.
You remember the first time?
It was a little scary.
Wait a second. I'm up to my wrist.
What am I doing here?
I'm up to my elbow.
A little scary that first time.
That's how I handle my succulent.
Yes. That's the main reason I brought this up. I was hoping that
Mandy would join.
All about the succulents.
Not watering enough.
My index fingers around my nipples.
Oh my God. And that wet ass succulent.
Wet ass succulent.
Interesting.
You had me at wet ass.
I know.
On the Hallmark Channel tonight.
Wet
ass succulent. I inherited my grandmother's succulent shop. And here comes Brick Laser, the new man in town.
Hey, I failed to mention this earlier this morning. I didn't realize it, but it is Brent Porsche's birthday today. When we did the birthdays this morning.
He's the man.
Brent Porsche, afternoons here at MMR. Make sure that you wish him a very happy birthday. I did not know that his birthday was on D-Day.
Yeah.
The anniversary of D-Day. It's the 80th anniversary of D-Day today, by the way. A big milestone one, obviously.
Yeah, they're doing a big, in fact, it's already taken place at the Normandy American Cemetery.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of luminaries, and Spielberg was there as well, and a lot of the...
And Hanks.
Yeah, Hanks.
Yep.
The remaining, very dwindling veterans.
Sure.
As you would well
I mean,
imagine.
it's 80 years ago.
Yeah.
So absolutely. We have a clip, Steve, that you isolated of a veteran from that day describing what he experienced.
Yeah, this is a gentleman. His name is, I want to get this right. It's Sherwin Callender, and he was operating the troop transport.
Okay.
So he was picking up and taking them to the beach and taking them back. That's how you'll hear.
Yeah, he explains what he experienced on one of those runs. This is pretty wild.
The first wave I was on, and not a man survived out of that. We had over 100 feet of clear beach, maybe close to 200, before you could get any shelter. And the Germans was up on the hills bombarding us. For at least 10 feet, the water was just blood red. Bodies all over, even dropped the gate down on top of bodies. Couldn't help it. And there was quite a few injured that we still couldn't bring them back because we had to get manpower on the beach. There was one young boy, he couldn't have been over 17. When we dropped off the load, he said, "I want my mama." We couldn't stop to help him and bring him back or nothing. It was mean. That was the worst battle I believe I was in.
Pretty intense stuff, man. Wild.
I've mentioned it before, but I've been to the cemeteries in Normandy a few times, and the American cemeteries and the cemeteries for the Allied soldiers obviously are very moving. The beaches themselves are really moving. There are craters where bombs were dropped that are still there. I also went to the German cemetery, and you just realize that these were boys as well. And, the Germans were 15 and 16 years old, just like some of the young enlisted American men and Canadian men. And if you're ever in France, I highly recommend you pay a visit because it's just one of the most moving places I've ever seen in my life.
And this was the day that the tide turned. That everything started to come back around.
They had a fallback plan, which fortunately they didn't have to, would have been a lot more precarious, a lot more surgical. Everything again. The Longest Day is a great movie. If you from the Cornelius Ryan book, which is a masterpiece. But a lot of the people that appear in that movie were participating in the war. A lot of those actors. So they had a lot of the stuff able to be used. But it gives you a kind of a thumbnail. But I mean, Band of Brothers, all of this stuff is somehow, and Private Ryan, of course. It's weird that we experience things, in sometimes that way, but there's a ton of great real documentary footage, and they seemingly keep finding new footage, or at least redoing it a la Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
It's astonishing to see it. And he said, 17-year-old on the beach.
And there were so many people involved that means there's so many stories, and there's so many things that went right, so many things that went wrong, so many things that had to be improvised. And I'm always fascinated with the leading up to it and the planning of it and the complexity of that. And we need to do it now. No, we can't do it then. We're going to change it to this. Or the weather was bad. And there was a whole bunch of things. Or the entire fake essentially almost island they had to create to stop the water and blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's just like all these things you didn't think about. The fake, the blow up tanks that were real as
boats,
decoys.
ships, all this stuff that was used. Yeah.
It was incredibly complex in a time at which communication was not nearly as streamless as it is now.
Because if you were throwing it up on the, everyone else was able to hear it as well.
Yeah. So it's pretty intense, and it's an anniversary that is definitely worth marking and going back and taking a look at it. Obviously, they're gonna run a variety of these films that you had mentioned on today. If you get a chance to watch them, please do. There's documentaries, all kinds of stuff that you can search and find. So, but 80 years ago today, very, very important day. We do have bizarre file stories that we need to do, so we're going to go ahead and fire those up right now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, brought to you this morning by The Bagster.
The Bagster.
You can buy yours now at any home improvement store, just $29.99. You fill it, and they pick it up on your schedule. The Bagster, dumpster in a bag. Buy, fill, gone. We'll start with a story out of Pennsylvania, and it has a happy ending to it. A young black bear took a dive from a tree on Tuesday, landing in a giant tarp that was held aloft by a group of wildlife, public safety, and rescue officials who tranquilized it after it roamed into a suburban Pennsylvania neighborhood.
Seahorses.
Forever. The Bruin showed up
Seahorses forever. Right?
Showed up around lunchtime in a residential area outside of Harrisburg. Students and staff of a nearby high school were notified to stay indoors, and a stretch of the road was closed. So fire and rescue officials used a ladder truck to get close to and trank the bear.
I could jump off the high dive.
So the sedated animal fell after a while about 20 feet into a large blue tarp held up by several wildlife officials.
Guess what I get to do?
And police and firefighters, and the animal was tranquilized again. They hit him again.
Why don't we take a 5-minute break?
And then moved the bear trap that had been placed on a trailer, or to a bear trap.
You're saying this whole universe could just be one little atom in my fingernail?
The bear did not seem to be fully grown, and game officials said it would likely be taken to state land elsewhere in central Pennsylvania. So he's going to be okay. This was not okay. An enormous great white shark that washed up on the South African coast had just scarfed down a dolphin before a larger predator got them both.
Welcome to nature.
Biologist Allison Towner shared photos to social media following the necropsy of the 15-foot-long shark, confirming the killer whale predation was the cause of its demise. So scientists were called to the scene after a resident stumbled upon the mangled carcass at the Nyara River mouth. The following day, veterinarians finished an examination of its corpse and recovered a common dolphin from its stomach that was neatly severed into 4 pieces. The most telltale sign of an orca attack were tooth marks on the creature's head, plus an even more pressing clue: the liver of the shark.
Isn't that crazy? Oh, that's
missing.
Hannibal Lecter stuff.
Was missing.
I mean, is this kind of like the shark or the orca equivalent of a turducken?
Yeah. A dolphin inside of a shark.
And whatever the dolphin ate.
Yeah, so the significant discovery marked the 14th confirmed case of a white shark predation by killer whales in South Africa since 2015.
This is something you would, at least I never heard of this.
So this liver being removed has been happening lately.
I ate it with some fava beans.
5 great whites washed up in Gansbai without their livers in 2017. And it wasn't until May 2022 that drone footage captured 2 male orcas hunting the sharks and removing the vital organs with, quote, surgical precision.
It's crazy.
The killer whales were dubbed port and starboard for their dorsal fins, which bend left and right, respectively. Last February, 19 7-gill shark carcasses washed up near Towner's home without their livers.
There was a footage of one of the killer whales dancing, and it was crossing its fins to hide its sexual organs, Preston.
Leading them to suspect the pair. So the suspicions were confirmed in June when Starboard was spotted hunting down a great white near Seal Island, killing it in under 2 minutes and surfacing near a tourist boat with its liver in its mouth.
It's crazy.
Some fava beans.
So, in most cases, the rest of the shark's organs were left intact while their livers were pulled through a clean incision in the shoulder. The theory is that orcas have developed the behavior to protect their teeth from sharks' coarse skin, as the liver alone is enough to provide a full meal for them.
It is insane.
Wow.
But had you ever heard of this level of orcas predating on great white sharks?
No, and that more specific target in that area blows me away. Wow. A human skull padlocked to an exercise dumbbell has been fished out of a New Orleans waterway, leaving police with a mystery on their hands.
Magnet fishing?
The skull was found earlier this month by a man magnet fishing.
Yes!
It was on a bridge to pull things out of the water below. The fisherman also found a handgun and a gun barrel in the water. The 15-pound dumbbell was padlocked around the skull, which was fully decomposed, lacking a jaw or top row of teeth. The magnet fisherman flagged down a passing police officer after making the find off of the Bayou St. John Bridge. New Orleans police did not have any further updates, and the coroner did not say whether he had confirmed the victim's identity. Police have been seeking tips from the public as they investigate the case. That's clearly somebody murdered, and then they are disposing of their body.
Look at people who have died. Probably,
That might be a good place to start. All right, and then we'll do one more story and then wrap it up. In Florida, an extremely amped up man wearing only a lady's top intentionally drove into the lobby of the Martin County Jail late Monday night and then threatened to light himself on fire. The sheriff's office said Joseph Leedy is now behind bars in the jail, facing multiple counts of aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, criminal mischief, and resisting arrest without violence. Chief Deputy John Bedensky said Leedy, who was disrobed other than wearing a lady's top, crashed through the glass lobby doors and then threw 2 rubber snakes and multiple cell phones into the lobby.
He was upset because no one had commented on his top.
After that, Leedy started pouring motor oil on his car and threatened to light the vehicle and himself on fire.
He came prepared, though.
Budensky said Leedy refused to cooperate with deputies' command, so they were forced to tase him and take him into custody. He said while our deputies were interacting with him, he kept saying things like, "The devil told me to kill everyone."
Yeah, the devil does that a lot.
The chief deputy added that paramedics gave Leedy multiple doses of ketamine to calm him down, but it did not sedate him. He was taken to the hospital, later released and booked into the county jail. He was living in the vehicle that he crashed into the jail lobby. He's never been arrested, but has received multiple trespass warnings in the past. Budensky added that while the results of blood tests on Leedy have not come back yet, authorities believe he was under the influence of a controlled substance.
Didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
All right. He's a very famous Joseph Leedy, a very different guy, Preston. Yeah, and he discovered the first dinosaur in the country, maybe in the world. And I believe that skull is at the University of Pennsylvania's museum.
Wow.
There's some markers for Joseph Leedy in and around Philly. And so just when you said that name, it rang some bells in my brain. Yeah.
No relation, I'm sure. I'm sure it's not Junior.
Probably not.
All right, and that is all I have in the Bizarre File for you. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and we'll pose the lesson question to you. We'll get some trash and music news, too. Stay with us.
Laser? His child died of some disease. I don't know. I never knew the kid. It doesn't matter. And he helps me with my succulents.
With the flashlight thing, an easier way, if you are doing some work and you need to use it and your hands are full and something like that, you can ask Siri to turn it on and off for you if you want to.
No.
You don't
What,
have
the
to.
flashlight?
Yeah.
Show me.
I'll show you.
Stop it.
Yeah. Hey,
Get out of here.
I'm talking to Siri, will you, please? Hey, Siri, turn on the flashlight. Here you go. You ready?
Oh, my.
Did mine go on?
Hey, Siri, turn the flashlight off. Yeah. There you go.
Oh,
It's on.
wow.
So if your hands are full, you can use it, or if it's sitting in a position where you need it on or off at certain times, you can just use that hands-free function.
Dude, thank you so
I didn't know
much.
that. I came across some, Siri tricks that you can do online. I was like, well, son of a bitch.
I knew that when I was 12.
A historic milestone has been reached by writer-director Nia DaCosta. She is the first black female director to have a film debut in the #1 spot in the U.S. box office with Candyman.
Nice.
She co-wrote the sequel to the original 1992 horror film with Jordan Peele.
casting all black leads and addressing elements of racism throughout the film. The movie is also the second highest grossing 3-day opening for a black female director, right behind Ava DuVernay for A Wrinkle in Time. Candyman is currently in theaters.
I saw a tweet that was really funny about Candyman, and it's true. It's like Candyman he's a reasonable person. Just don't say his name, and he'll stay out of your life.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Say it a couple times. You got to say it 5 times in front of a mirror. Otherwise, he'll leave you the F alone.
He's just minding his own business.
Just being all Candyman.
Yeah. And then you say his name, and then why? Now I got.
Well, you wanted me.
But why does that bother him so much?
Well, I don't know.
Well, he's got issues. I mean, he's not
says,
innocent.
keep my name out your mouth. Is what he said.
That's basically it, man.
So, but if I were to say your name 5 times, you wouldn't come and kill me.
No,
Well, it depends
he
on
would
how
give you a
say
kiss
it.
on the forehead.
Yeah.
That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say my name 5
Casey
times.
boy, Casey boy, Casey boy, Casey boy, Casey boy, Casey boy. I think I said 5 times. I just got a kiss on the forehead. That was nice.
Say my name 5 times.
A different kind of thing.
That would be the worst horror movie ever.
This is not scary.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy,
Said
I
this
guess.
guy's name in the bathroom mirror, and it came out and kissed my forehead.
I don't understand.
I was sitting here minding my own business. And you
I did it.
To kiss your
I went and
forehead.
did it.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Well, that kind of made my day. You know, it honestly did. So thanks, pal. I appreciate
I was
that.
just relaying the legend.
But right now, it's
Peanut butter jelly time.
Yeah.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Where you at?
all right. So yesterday,
There you go. There you go.
yesterday, how did this even come up? I forgot.
Well, Steve sang his jingle, and then you guys
Oh, that's
commented
right.
on Peter Pan,
Yeah,
and I
it's-
said Peter Pan is an inferior peanut butter, and Preston, you took umbrage with
I
that
took
statement.
offense to that.
Yes, which you grew up on it.
Yeah, I grew up in a Peter Pan household.
Yeah, and so Casey and I were defending the honor of Jif, and I said that Jif is my favorite, although we'll see if that's actually true.
And then I said, well, at least we can all agree that Skippy sucks. And then Kathy jumped in, so we all took sides.
But here's
Or did Steve, do you take a side at all?
Yes, I agreed. I agreed with Kathy. Kathy is her pirate
Stevie.
name. Yeah. I also, believe it or not, I think Peter Pan has merit.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm kind of Switzerland in this because I think everything has merit.
Here's the thing for me. I think I'll definitely be able to identify the Skippy, but I honestly don't eat any other peanut butter but that, so I don't know if I'll be able to decipher between Peter Pan and Jif.
I don't think I've ever had Peter Pan.
So, all right. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to see, A, if you can identify what it is.
Right. Okay.
And B, rank which you think is the best one.
So
Okay.
we
I
have.
think
we have
all peanut butter's great.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm a big. I can't ever remember saying, "Oh, that's terrible peanut butter."
Except maybe some of the natural ones. If you're really in the mood for the super sweet peanut butter, it can be a minor letdown. But I do like those too.
And by the way,
do.
the 3 spoons that we have here, fortunately, only equal like 1,000 calories.
Oh my God!
Good.
Peanut butter is insanely high in calories.
It's great for protein.
Yes.
It's great for if you're just gonna stop at like half a spoonful.
Yeah.
That's fine. No one does.
Yeah, but who can do
And
that?
so you have 45,000 calories.
I think like a tablespoon is like 80 calories.
Yeah,
Kathy.
yeah.
Or maybe more,
no,
maybe
it's
like
more
110 or something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Here's the deal, and I don't want to besmirch peanut butter. I hope peanut butter's not listening right now, but I think peanut butter is only good when it's accompanied by something else.
Milk?
Peanut butter
I don't
by
agree.
itself. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like peanut butter needs something else to shine.
Some type of bread.
No, some type of, well, maybe bread, yes, but I don't even like peanut butter sandwiches, but like a jelly, a honey, a pretzel.
I can do just peanut butter on an English muffin, on a piece of toast.
Absolutely.
Stuff like
you could
that.
put it so especially when you have it on a fresh out of the toaster.
Yes.
And it melts. Yeah, we're looking at the calorie.
That's 2 tablespoons.
That's 2.
2
So,
tablespoons, 188
about
calories.
90.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a clear spoon. Casey, give me some music because we're just going to be sitting here smacking our lips.
Peanut butter jelly time.
People are going to hate that. All right. So try the white spoon. And see,
which one first?
Clear.
Clear?
The clear. Yeah.
All right.
Do you have your scoring sheet?
I
in
do.
front of you?
Yes, I do.
All right. Now, if you're one of those people that hates the sound of smacking lips,
You're
going to
hate this.
You're going to absolutely detest this.
If you believe in peanut butter, clap your hands.
Is it? Can we comment, or is this a contest?
I think I know what that is. No, it's a contest. Don't comment.
No comment.
Okay.
Okay. I think I know what that one.
I think I know what that one is too. All right. When you're done.
Wait.
We don't have any palate cleansers either. So.
Oh, I do. Well, I got water. You got water.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? I know which one is my Skippy before I even taste it, just by the look of it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be impressed if that's
Kathy,
the case.
that's how I felt.
Now I'm gonna
about,
try.
not about Skippy, but about
Are we
you.
doing 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 for rating numerical taste?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go through all three of them before I decide which one I like best.
But 1 to 10, is that the?
Let's do 1 to 10.
All right, now white spoon.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh. Okay. God, it's all good.
Okay.
Also good.
Oh my God, I got too much in my mouth now.
Yeah.
It
You
can
like porn movies.
be like a full-on paste. All right, I think I know what that is.
Okay.
I may change my answer, but
You can. We just have to when we do the final tally. All right, and then I'm gonna turn this music up so people don't hear us going.
This is a lot. This is a lot harder than I thought.
yeah.
By the way, I want you to know that I wrote down my Skippy answer before I even tasted it.
All right, just on site. All right, we're doing the yellow spoons now, correct? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Colored, whatever your color is.
All right, mine's red. I'm like, oh no.
To be honest, they all pretty much taste the same to me. I can't really clearly, definely pick out a difference between those, but I'm just jotting down.
Skippy's creamier than the other two.
It is. Okay.
That's what I think.
Honestly.
All right, now rate the taste.
All right. All right, rate your taste here.
Oh.
1 to 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or should you just do 1, 2, 3? Which one you like best?
All right, yeah, let's do that.
Best to worst. 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
I've actually surprised myself.
One being
here.
the best.
I may be a changed man.
Okay.
I'm trying not to use my
Penis? Your
predetermined, my bias, my predetermined decision on what I was saying yesterday to influence. But if I'm wrong,
that's a sign of a man looking to evolve.
Well, I would like to. Life's about change, Steve.
Okay. So, real quick, do we want to say what we thought was the best tasting one first?
No. Here's why I think the way we should roll this out. Now, Marissa's the only one who knows the answers.
Right.
I think we all say what we think number 1 is.
Okay.
And then she'll reveal what it is. And then we all say what we think number 2 is, and so on. Okay. And see if we get it right. All right. I thought number 1 was Jif.
I thought number 1 was Jif.
I thought number 1 was Jif.
Wow.
So again, I don't know the difference between Jif and Peter Pan, so I went Peter Pan.
Okay. And Nick?
I thought number 1 was Jif.
Okay. And Marissa, what is number 1?
Confirming that number 1 is the clear spoon.
Yes. Number 1 is the clear spoon.
It's Peter Pan.
Oh my God!
Man.
Oh my God!
Mind blown.
Dude, hang on, because. All right, never mind.
Well, we'll find out at the end.
All right.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Oh my God!
All right.
My world is upside
So
down.
I was the only one that got it right, by the way.
You were?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you said you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy gets it. All right. So for the white spoon, the second one, I thought that was Skippy.
I thought that was Peter Pan.
Okay.
I thought it was Skippy.
Yep.
Jif.
All right.
Skippy.
And what is number 2?
Kathy wins again. It's
I identified Skippy before I even tasted it. I knew it by the look.
Unreal.
Wow.
Okay.
So that was Jif.
That was Jif, and then the
number
colored-
3 I had is Peter Pan.
And number
That's-
3, I had
Peter.
Skippy.
Yeah, Steve,
sorry.
I had
Steve, you
Peter
and I
Pan.
had all 3 the same.
Same thing. Yeah.
So did I had the same as you, Preston, and I am just my world's upside down. I was wrong with what I said yesterday.
Well, wait till you get to the taste.
Yeah.
Well, hang on a second.
Wait till you get to the taste because then it's inverted my perception.
All right, so hang on a second. So the colored spoon was Skippy?
yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
All
was
right.
Skippy.
So here's
I got 'em all wrong.
Between the sun and the clouds, we do have some scattered thunderstorms that might be rearing their ugly heads through the day. It all depends on where and when you are, so just be aware of that. Tomorrow, partly cloudy 85. Saturday, Sunday, low 80s and partly cloudy skies.
My flowers need rain. I thought we were getting more than just that little whatever was this morning.
We had some yesterday as well.
We had a crap load of rain.
They're still calling for some isolated thunderstorms. We'll see a little bit later on. You do have a hose, right?
It takes so long, Preston. Do you have anybody who wants to water my flowers?
We'll send them over.
Yes, I do use the hose, but it's nothing like rain.
It is, I know.
Your flowers just flourish when
God is watering your plants.
Yes, exactly.
All right, we are going to ask today's lesson question, and we're going to give away a pair of Maury's Piers same day ride and water park combo tickets. If you can answer this question correctly, what is the unofficial sequel to Blue Bloods? 215-263-WMMR was uttered close to 7 o'clock this morning. What is the unofficial sequel to Blue Bloods? 215-263-WMMR. If you heard it and you know, you should call us now because we got the prize over here. We'll do the trash while you call in.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, let's get right into it. Steve, what kind of stories we got today?
Well, actor Chris Colfer says he was warned not to come out as gay while on the TV series Glee. Just to understand the absurdity, Colfer was warned not to come out as gay while playing an openly gay character on a show that made RuPaul's Drag Race look like the A-Team.
Hey!
Andy Cohen revealing on a new podcast that he has been trying to get Hilaria Baldwin to join the Real Housewives franchise. Cohen says the only concern is a language barrier because she speaks pretend Spanish.
Oh my God.
And finally, Taylor Swift left a comment defending Lady Gaga on a video she posted shutting down rumors that she is pregnant. Swift posted 3 hallelujah emojis along with text that read, quote, "Can a chick get fat?" And
All right, we will see. Someone knows the answer to the question this morning. What is the unofficial sequel to Blue Bloods? We will go to Tim to see if he knows the answer. Hi, Tim. Good morning.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi. All right, Tim. What is the unofficial sequel to Blue Bloods?
Blue balls.
Blue balls. One moment, Tim. You got yourself a pair of Maury's Piers same-day ride and water park combo tickets. You can check out our big friggin' deal and get a same-day ride and water park ticket to Maury's Piers for just $70 and enjoy unlimited rides on 3 piers and both water parks for a whole day. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at WMMR.com/deal.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you by College Ave. Build a private student loan that keeps pace with your family's budget and your goals for your students' future. Go to collegeave.com. So, thanks to high demand, Beck is slating in a second orchestral concert in New York City this summer. The first show on July 29th sold out so quickly that an additional show will take place the next night on July 30th at Carnegie Hall's Stern Auditorium / Perlman Stage. Both concerts will feature Beck performing with the Orchestra of St. Luke's, reimagining songs from albums like "O Delay" and "Morning Phase." So tickets for the new date will be available starting Friday at 11 a.m. He, of course, is going to be playing with the Philadelphia Orchestra on July 25th. As of now, just one show there, but you never know if the tickets continue to sell.
The word he's doing the full Saddle on Concom album.
Saddle on Concom. So, yeah, he's this looks like a good pairing
Yes,
for him.
absolutely.
And then I just have one other story. Blur has announced the release of their new live album, Live at Wembley Stadium, which will be available on July 26th. The band had posted a teaser trailer of the big event on Instagram with a call to action for fans to pre-order the show. The album captures their performances from last July when they played to over 150,000 fans across 2 nights.
Blur did 150,000 fans?
That's pretty wild.
That is crazy.
Alongside the album, Blur will release a concert film of the same name, and it's set to hit the UK and movie theaters and Irish movie theaters on September 6th. What's more, their reunion documentary, To the End, will premiere in theaters July 29th. July 19th. And tickets for both films will be available soon. And it's a short one. Oh, yeah. And a reminder, as I said earlier this morning, Pierre has got pit passes for the Rolling Stones next Tuesday at the Link. Now, you do not want to miss because you have 2 more chances to get on board. That's today and tomorrow. So noon today, noon tomorrow. Listen for the Stones word of the day. Then you go to the contest page, WMMR.com, to enter that day's word, and then you have your chance to win. Each day's word is another chance to win the pit ticket, so do it every day, or hopefully you've already done it every day this week, but you got 2 more to go. today and tomorrow. Contest rules, complete details, WMMR.com, by the way. All right, with that being done, we'll take a break. We'll come back in a second. We'll get the letter of the day. We'll wrap up the program, see what's up tomorrow. So stay put. We'll be back.
Preston. I got the last one right. I got Skippy right, and I'm so glad that we did this blind taste test because I'll reveal something a little bit later.
All right, so I ranked as the best tasting one as number one, and it turns out that is Peter Pan.
Right, which is what you said yesterday.
Which is what I said, yeah. Okay.
Preston, I rated as the best tasting the third, the colored spoon.
So Skippy.
Which is what you and I said, Steve.
Yes, yeah.
And I did the same thing.
Yes.
Okay. Thinking that the white spoon was Peter Pan, I ranked that the best. And as it turns out, it was Jif that was the best in my eyes, my mouth. And I just want to point out that I also, not knowing anything, that I ranked Skippy as the worst tasting flavor.
Okay.
Not knowing anything. But I really thought that Peter Pan was going to be the best. And as it turns out, it was Jif.
Well, let me tell you, Peter Pan, to Kathy, I think is the sweetest.
Yeah, so I picked Skippy as number one as best tasting. And then the other two, again, not really knowing the difference, I did not like 3 at all. That was Jif. So I went, Peter Pan was number 2 for me.
I believe Peter Pan does have the most sugar of all 3.
Really?
No, Kath, you said number 3 was Jif. Number 3 was...
No. I rated Jif number 3 in taste.
Okay.
So I didn't like the Jif. I liked the Peter Pan better.
Marissa, by the way, how did our Twitter poll turn out? Because that should be done by now. It was 24 hours ago, roughly, that we did
that's
that.
a good question. I'll pull it up right now.
So she put the 3 out, and at the beginning, Peter Pan was just getting crapped on. And I took
Here,
a
it
little
looks like it's up here on the screen.
All right, so the results are in. Yeah, we have it. Number 1 is Skippy.
Wow.
Number 2 is Jif, and then absolutely way in the back distance is Peter Pan.
So I'm going to say Peter Pan was my favorite of the taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like this, just my sense of all of my senses, my smell, my taste, like it just, I knew I was going to be able to do this.
Okay. Yeah, you have very sharp senses.
Remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we did water years ago, and I was able.
We said we were going to do it. Did we?
We did it, and I was able to pick because I knew I could pick Evian out of the other bottled water, and I think the other one maybe was Poland Springs or Fiji, something like that. But I was able to do it. There's something in that Evian water that I can taste.
Well, so can you just check on the back of the notion that Peter Pan, and Nick, is that what you said, that Peter Pan has the most?
That's what I heard when we were talking about this yesterday,
right,
and
so
people were posting on social media.
Because you really want as much sugar as you can in any product.
Yes. Calorie-wise, they're only 10 apart, and the most calorically high is Peter Pan. It's got 200 calories per serving, which is 2 tablespoons, and the other two have 190, so it's neck and neck.
About the same, yeah.
But as far as the sugar content goes, it looks like they all have 3 grams of sugar.
There you go.
Although Skippy has a little extra. It says total sugar's 3 grams, includes 2 grams added sugars.
Well, what does that mean?
The other ones don't have. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. They have it as well. I didn't see
they
that.
They all have added sugar.
So they all have the same sugar.
3 grams of sugar, but with an additional 2 grams, which I would figure that to me is 5 grams.
No, it says includes. So it's
3 grams of sugar includes 2 grams of sugar.
It's not like a natural sugar. They've added it to the product.
1 gram of natural sugar, 2 grams of added sugar. So just so you guys know, I have, for the past year and a half, have been really paying attention to added sugars and trying not to have added sugars in my diet.
No, we know that.
Yeah.
So, which you take your preference taste here was which one, Case?
Skippy.
No. It was Jif.
It was.
No, it was Jif.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was Peter Pan.
You wanted it to be.
Well, okay.
If you believe in peanut butter, clap your hands.
Right. And Casey likes to add honey to. He turned me on to the honey peanut butter sandwich, which was good.
Honey's high in calories too.
Oh yeah. But it was. I liked it. I'm not as gaga about it as you are.
Are you doing it with chunky peanut butter or creamy?
Creamy.
Okay, you got to try it with chunky.
We went creamy because creamy is my preference. Actually,
it's the classic.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So.
That seems like so much. What do you need more?
Yeah. What kind of animal?
But you do put jelly on peanut butter, and that's a
that's a good
standard.
point.
So
That's
and
a-
it's
that's
got to
a good
be.
point, yeah.
Do you go with chunky jelly or
sugary?
But
that's
that
why-
would be marmalade.
Marmalade.
Yeah.
But that's
I do
why-
like marmalade.
I do
though.
like marmalade.
All of that stuff that this is a nice healthy breakfast, and it's only 41,000 calories.
Well, so listen, it's maybe not the healthiest, but if I'm using like a good like Ezekiel bread or like
Or Jebediah.
or a Jebediah bread, no, but Ezekiel bread's really good. It's like natural ingredients, and if I'm using an organic chunky peanut butter and honey, I'm like that's calories or sugars or whatever aside, like that actually is all like kind of natural-ish, So I feel
Natural-ish.
well, and I feel
No, you're right.
and I feel better about that.
No, there is a mindset, and it is a legitimate nutritionist sort of take on things. If you're going to go with the natural sugar, go with the things, substitutes and chemicals as you start to add in that stuff. That's where you're going to come up against problems. Eat as much. Take in as many calories as you can in every day, and make sure whatever you're eating is absolutely jammed with sugar.
And sprinkle
I think that's the
aspartame
best
all
way.
over it
And
as well.
aspartame,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Somebody just reminded me of something. You remember that time my mom made me make her a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich?
Yeah.
And then
You
we found
actually-
out somebody had texted in just now and said that they did peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches, and I was like, I could barely make it for her. This is a woman I've known my entire life, and I never knew she liked peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches. And apparently, it's fairly common in the South. And
You were very honest. You said you close fist punched her.
I was close to it. I mean, like, how dare you? Ooh, it's gross.
To me, that has no word. There is no place for that in my life.
But some people see it as adding even more of a creamy texture to it, and that's what does it. But no, I can't see that.
No.
So we had what started this off yesterday was the Peter Pan theme or the jingle.
Right.
And how did that go?
If you believe in peanut butter, clap your hands.
I don't remember that, but I do remember Choosy Mothers Choose Jif. What about Skippy? What was their
Frigid Mothers Choose?
Frigid Mothers
what
Choose
is it?
Skippy. But we do know Annette Funicello
was
a longtime spokesperson. In fact, Steve, when they did
Back to the Beach,
she had like
jars of it,
peanut butter that was the size of like a keg of beer,
and the kids going, "I hate this peanut butter."
So one of the Skippy slogans is "Spread on the smiles."
And
I don't remember
Skippy Yippy.
Oh,
Skippy Yippy.
2 in the pink, 1 in the peanut.
Oh, okay.
No.
1 in the peanut. Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Those things that caught on because honestly, one of the first jingles you were probably as a kid, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is sort of a de facto sandwich. So yeah, do you remember having I don't remember if I was actually that much of a snob when it came to peanut butter when I was a kid. I just got what I got. I think it was probably
we just always had Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So that was my peanut butter, and I didn't really turn my nose up to other peanut butters, if I recall.
I used to do at Whole Foods. I used to do the where you just grind up the peanuts, and that's what I would make Jace for lunch. And No, listen, he had it for years, and he loved it. And then somebody gave him Skippy peanut butter, and he was like, "I don't want that other peanut butter. I want this."
You're tearing me apart.
We were a Jif household growing up, so that's why I got used to it. And that's why I wanted to rank it number 1. And turns out I like Peter Pan better.
Listen,
but
it takes a big man to admit that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm still going to keep buying Jif because I don't like change
because
that
Choosy
much.
Mothers Choose Jif.
Right, but my dad would always make peanut butter and banana sandwiches, just like Elva. So he would toast the bread, peanut butter
Those
on
are
top,
good.
and then
By the way, they're
sliced
good.
banana. Yeah.
Nick, have you had them?
Oh, that's what I was just saying. That growing up, that's my dad would
I
make.
thought he was making them just for him. Yeah,
No.
they're excellent sandwiches. Yeah. In fact, Elvis used to fly his personal Learjet.
It's been a very enjoyable day today. We had great guests stop by, 2 of them. It was awesome to see Keith Robinson here.
Yes.
He has got a new Netflix special called Keith Robinson Different Strokes. Like he had 2 strokes. Last time he was here, he'd had 1 and seemed to be fine. And then the second one definitely took its toll.
Yeah, it hit him big time, but he's still funny as hell.
Yeah, he is. And I love that title, Different Strokes. And he explains the difference between the 2 strokes.
Yes.
But it's available on June 11th on Netflix. So make sure you see that if you get the opportunity to. And then we had Tony Hale, who was phenomenal.
Yes.
Inside Out 2 will be in theaters next Friday, so a week from tomorrow. And I'm so looking forward to this movie. Could use a movie like this right now. And he's playing Fear and a whole new cast of emotions that will be in that too. But we had a great chat with him. Super nice guy and a lot to talk about. So it was really cool having him by. So we need to do the letter of the day. Casey, you are going to handle that?
I got you.
Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter. All right, the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by The Letter.
D as in Deadpool.
All right, and we are going to give away a Father's Day dinner for up to 10 people at Nebraza Brazilian Steakhouse. And you can treat Dad to a delicious and unforgettable experience this year at their new location at 20th and JFK Boulevard in Center City, or the original location in Horsham. So go to nebraza.com to make yourself a reservation. And I'll just take this moment to thank our sponsors as well. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Duncan. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Powhana Tiki Boats, in Ocean City, New Jersey. You can book today at powhanatikiboat.com, and Pow is spelled P-A-U, and it's pronounced and then also brought to you by Polar Seltzer. Polar Seltzer is just water, zillions of tiny bubbles, and great taste. Tomorrow, with No Sad Bro on the cusp, we will have joining us our good friend Donnell Rawlings stopping by in studio.
Awesome.
And we will talk to guitarist of the Police, Andy Summers, tomorrow. via Zoom.
Cool.
So it should be really cool. It's going to round out a really awesome week. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.